Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Yo, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Spotty Pablo in the Big O Show. O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Coach and Probably Pablo, you know, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando also Gary. Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
That voice is fine.
Welcome aboard. Yes, we're ready to rock. We're ready to roll. It's a beautiful Saturday. Although maybe not that beautiful because I'm seeing some clouds out there. But it's beautiful because we're back. We're on. We're rocking and rolling. And we apologize that we've had all kinds of snafus here in the last, let's say, almost 2
blah,
weeks.
blah, 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 blah hiatus.
Yes, so trying to get it back on track, and so, you know, things aren't perfect. Life isn't perfect. I hope you're also listening at Onside Radio, because that's where we are on every day. We will add video shortly to the broadcast. So we'll have that for you. Let me straighten this mic out a little bit here, that way I'm not hunched over for a couple of hours. And we got plenty to talk about today. So hopefully you are following us on Onside Radio, onsideradio.com. Download the app, MyTuner Radio, and search Onside Radio. You'll be able to find us there as always. I see the folks are popping up on the chat board already, and thank you as always out there. I know I've had people, you know, reaching out, hey, what's going on with the podcast and all that, and I know some of you out there like this format actually better than the radio format in a way, and it's understandable. It's a little different format. This one's a little bit more personable, where we get to connect a little bit more. Although, you know, at Onside Radio, we do take your phone calls and we do take your texts and we read them and we do connect, because, you know, it's, you know, we know crappy intercom doesn't do any of that stuff. That's why, you know, our station's going to kick their ass sideways. We already have a way better lineup than they do. We already have more local programming than they do. So I encourage you out there, if you want to listen to a lot of Dolphins and Miami Heat and Hurricanes talk, you got to tune in Onside. You want to hear about the Marlins and the Panthers and FIU and FAU, you got to listen to Onside Radio, man. You want to listen to anything that's going on locally. You want to hear about Inter Miami, you're going to hear it on Onside Radio. So please follow us over there at onsideradio.com and search. And remember, my show is called the Onside Zone. So subscribe to it, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Pandora. We're like on 9 services or something like that.
Only 9?
Yeah. So Podbean, all that stuff. So if you want to check us out, Onside Zone is the name of the show with yours truly. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, for locking it in. It's a beautiful thing. We got a bunch of things to talk about today, because listen, we haven't been on here for a while, so there's a lot of things to talk about. If you have any questions, send them in on the YouTube channel. 866-322-1105 if you want to get in. Yes?
November 17th, last show.
November, yeah, that's terrible. I feel terrible. I got to tell you, it's been 11 days, right? So that's it's terrible. It's unacceptable at every level. But
I have a feeling you'll make up for it with an hour segment at least. I know you.
We'll try. Well, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll try to. I want to make it up by getting back to doing it every day and finding the right time to do it every day. That's kind of what I need to get it back. One guy says volume is low. Miami Kid J says volume is low. Let's see, turn it up a little bit. We'll try to turn it up for you there. You tell me if it's a little too low for you. If it got a little better, it's sounding louder in my ears now. Okay, so let's see whatever you guys. If it's better now, send me the text. Let me do a little roll call. The president, by the way, chimed in first. Alexa V was first. Josh was second. There we go. Kelvin Smith says he's in. Big O, what it do, baby? Romeo Garcia is in. Let's see. NorCal says happy holidays. Big O crew and listener. Let's see. Alexa V says strong lungs you got there. Yep. We hung in there for a little bit. I had to add a little extra oomph today, Alexa, since I was happy that, we're actually back. And, we kind of got off of the snafus that we've had lately. NorCal says I scared his dog by that yelling. That's usually what happens when we do it at Hialeah Park. I scare the crap out of people in the blackjack room. I'm sorry, the poker room, not blackjack. Let's see what else. Jeffrey Vincent is in. NorCal says, you've been exercising. I'm in my home gym listening now. Great job, brother. I need to exercise badly, but no, I'm not exercising. I don't know if I even lost any weight or not. Maybe I have lost a couple pounds because since, this whole onside thing, I'm stressed out constantly and working constantly. And filling the lineup, replacing people that are out or something for vacations, engineers, producers, it's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So maybe that's what it is, that I'm working a little bit more and focus a little less time on food. So that's good. Let's see, what else do we have here? The volume is going in and out. I was like I said, they made adjustments. Blah. I'm chasing it. We'll get it right. Okay. Yeah, the only thing is we're a couple seconds behind. You know what I mean? So. Right. Okay. Overmodulated sound now. Yeah, I know. Give it like 20 seconds. It's sounding better. Okay. All right. I promise, folks. The sound is a little too loud. Let's see. Since Jets last week, what's your least favorite Jets moment? Mine is Geno Smith throwing a perfect game versus Miami in 2014. Oh man, I'm old. There's a lot of bad memories that I have from Jets games. But I think I've been on this trip for a while with a lot of you out there. Is that are we good? Because I don't want to waste my time talking and they can't understand what the hell. Yeah, it's overmodulated. Yeah. So we're trying to fix it. I want to. Yeah, still a little bit overmodulated, just a little bit, not by much, but it is. You guys tell me now if it's a little better now, if we're ready to go. Okay, when you said I don't want to waste my time. Here. Yeah. I don't know. I can't hear anything now. Yeah, that sounds overmodulated. We'll get it. Okay. Miguel says you're good. Flippy. What's flippy? What's flippy mean, Alexa? Bill is so loud. Okay. I don't know. Big O, that 305 cap is sick. Where can I get one? It's a Marlins hat. Look at it. It's a Marlins hat. Oh, that's the one you got at the day we were out there at the stadium, right? Yeah, when we did the Fan Fest for Marlins, I went into their shop, and they had that hat. And I love the hat, obviously. So you can go, I'm sure it's on the Marlins website or something along those lines. Much better now. Medellin loves you. Well, thank you, Medellin. Appreciate you, Willie, out in Colombia. I appreciate it, man. Big O, you're my sports therapist. When the national media makes me feel bad and negative about my Dolphins, you cheer me up. There's nothing to feel bad about our Dolphins. And, when that fan was asking me, which one of you guys was asking me about the Jets' memory and all that, I've told you guys this, that I want you to turn the page. I want you to, Pat Nasto is in here now, and he's one of the top guys in the Zinn family. And I've known Pat for many years. He's a monster Dolphins fan. And so every year we kind of, who's like Pat Nasto in a way? My man NorCal. NorCal's watching right now. NorCal's going to go, okay, how the hell am I throwing in all this? So guys like NorCal, guys like Pat Nasto, over the years, I would feel bad, right? Because they would ask me, what do you think about the Dolphins? And I would brutally tell them, dude, we're not going anywhere. They're not a good team. It's not a good coaching staff. This is a bad decision. I would feel terrible because I would tell NorCal constantly every year how mediocre we were, and sure enough, that's what we were. And I would tell the same thing to Pat. So I hadn't seen Pat in, I don't know, but maybe about a couple months now. And so he comes by here to hang out with Larry. They're working, not hanging out. But he comes by and he goes to me, so what do you think about the Dolphins? I go, dude, I've been on this bandwagon for a while now. I've been saying that you got to hire Greer and turn this around. And sure enough, I told him we're going to be a great franchise. That's where our team is headed. Look at Raekwon Davis. Kid playing now. That's the kid that you got for Minka. And he's starting to ball now. He's starting to play. All these draft picks, they're all having their moments. That means that's good for the forecast. Because young guys are going to have their ups and downs. They're not just going to come in and dominate all the time. But if they start showing you the flashes, then you start to say there's something to build on. And I believe there's something to build on with Solomon Kinley. I believe there's something to build on with Robert Hunt and with Austin Jackson and with Raekwon Davis and Noah and you name it, dude. Needham and Gesicki and all these cats. I just feel like we're headed in such an amazing direction. And we're watching our team that is 6-4. None of us really expected them to be 6-4 in their first 10. That's what pisses me off about the loss with the Broncos, because it was the first loss in 6 games. Think about that. And we got people jumping off bridges and buildings and complaining. And we got national media members going crazy and all this stuff. Dude, they're 6-4. It's freaking awesome. And they should win tomorrow against the Jets, and they should win next week against Cincinnati, and you're 8-4. And if I told you at the beginning of the year that they were going to win 8 of their first 12 games, I would look at you and say, come on, man. I know he's a good coach, but, dude, you're asking a lot. And that's exactly what could end up happening after the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So it's one of those where you turned off my headphones. So it's there we go. So you look at that, and you gotta stop thinking about the past. You gotta stop thinking about the bad moments. You gotta stop thinking about the losing streaks. You gotta stop thinking about losing confidence. You gotta stop thinking about all the bad coaching, all the bad GMs that we've had, all the terrible directions that there have been in the past. You gotta stop thinking about any bad losses with the Jets and all that. Why would you think that stuff? We're better than the Jets. Our team is way better than the Jets. They're better coached. They're better managed. There's a better coach. There's a better team. There's a better front office. And there's even a better owner. So I like our chances. I'm not even thinking about that. And if Tua plays or he doesn't play, and we'll get to that, they're still going to win. They'll win with Fitz or they'll win with Tua. And that's called having a good football team. That you're prepared and that you can win with multiple players out there. and different leaders out there. So if Tua and his thumb isn't good enough for tomorrow and you've got to play Fitz, then so be it. You play Fitz, you move on, and you get the victory. That's what you do. Talk to him. So, anyway, so that's where you got to go and you got to understand that, it's one of those deals. I think they want to move that car, dude. There you go. Anyway, so that's where you've got to look at it that way. You can't keep, you got to drop the past already. Okay, look, we had the worst 20 years of the franchise history. I'm with you all the way, man. Okay, I'm so with you guys on that. But we gotta leave that in the past. We've got way better days ahead now. We got a team that actually knows how to draft players. We got coaches that know how to develop players. We got a coach that knows how to put most of his players in positions to be successful. And then we've got a bunch of guys that have bought into everything that's going on. So we've got all the combination now. It's just now a matter of establishing it, getting the right people, getting the experience, and building from here out. That's really what it's all about. There's nothing more to it than that. It's what the Heat did 20-something years ago when Riley took over. Now, it's a little different in basketball because you can get a Zoe and a Timmy and change things right away and change the culture right away. But it is conceptually, it's kind of the same thing. And that's what the Dolphins are doing. They're establishing a culture. You do the math. You're 5-4 to finish the season, and now you're 6-4. So you're 11-8 in your last 19 games. That tells you all you need to know. Because when you saw Sperano had a great first year, he never followed it up again because it was a farce. It wasn't real. He wasn't really a good head coach. Rest in peace. I'm sorry. We have to compartmentalize. Good man, guy you want to have a beer with, don't want him as a head coach. Got to be honest. Adam Gase, same thing. First year was a fluke. Never matched it again. And that shows you what you got in a coach. This guy goes 5-4 in his last 9 games, 5-11 overall. He's already 6-4 now. So he improved on last year. And as this talent gets better and deeper, I expect him to improve in year 3. So if they end up with 9, 10, 11 wins this year, I expect them to better that the following season. Because that's the trend that we're on. So this whole thing about, like the one fan says, oh, your worst Jets moment. Screw the Jets, dude. I don't want to think about worst Jets moment. I don't care about the Jets. Screw Adam Gase. Screw all of the gangrene. I don't care about it. I only care about the Dolphins. And I know in our world, things are really good. Yeah, Tua's banged up right now. Yeah, I get it. We're getting Jesse Davis back. Jakeem Grant's dealing with a hamstring injury. We lost God Chow. We got all kinds of things going on. I get it. Solomon Kinley's dealing with a foot injury. This is part of football. And they had to deal with so many things last year, and they got better as the year went on. So I expect this coaching staff, I expect these players to be prepared for tomorrow and to come up with a victory. And I don't care who the quarterback is. I expect them to win. That's it. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a Dolphins win tomorrow. And remember, we will have the postgame show for you at onsideradio.com. So download the MyTuner Radio app, search Onside Radio, and lock it in, because now we will have a postgame show at Onside Radio every Sunday. I think, that's all they got left. After every Dolphins game will be on. Okay? So make sure you lock that in. So stop thinking about the past. Stop thinking about bad moments. We have good moments. We've dealt with enough crap in the past. All right? Let's think about the positive stuff that's going on right now with our Dolphins. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Yes?
I just want to clarify. Gase is not like Sperano because you wouldn't want to go have a beer with him, right?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, definitely not. Want nothing to do with that scum whatsoever.
He would piss off everybody in the bar, I would safely say, yes.
Pretty close. Let's see. Bromar says, watching the Big O on my new 65-inch television. Wow. That's a really ugly image on your screen right now. Damn.
No, it's not, man, because remember, you got the mask on, so it's only half your face.
Well, that's true.
Okay?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not
man.
scaring you completely, Bromar.
You know what I wanted to remind you? You know, there's a really cool shirt, if you remember, at Caneswear that matches your hat that you have. Really awesome.
I have the shirt.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Caneswear has the shirt that matches that hat.
Yep, you're right about that. You are correct, sir. You are correcto mundo. Miami Kid J says, Big O, if Tua struggles on Sunday, what do you think is Flores' approach? Do you think he pulls him again? No, I don't think it was a matter of struggling and taking a beating. That was also in on the equation. That's where, to me, the national media missed out on the whole thing. And that's why the national media, most of them, you know, I forgot more about the Dolphins than most of the national media members combined. And so and by the way, most of you know more about the Dolphins than most of those people that are on the desk, Dan Orlovsky and all those other people out there. But when you're having a moron like Dan Orlovsky slamming Flo about benching Tua, see, the thing is where Dan Orlovsky is a phony and he's just a gas bag on the air, is that if Tua, after that, on the 7th sack, because he took 6 of them, on the 7th sack, he blows out a knee, a hip, a shoulder, whatever, it's the same Dan Orlovsky that will be saying, how does he allow his injury-prone quarterback to take a beating? And so when you look at that situation, there's no doubt in my mind that Flo was looking at that going, the kid's struggling, and he's taking a beating. I think we've reached the point now that he's not overcoming it. He might be a little, flustered at this point. He's holding on to the ball a little too long because he's trying to decipher and make the defense and not making quick decisions, which is putting him at risk. The kid is young. He's got to grow. Let me do what's right, and let me pull him right now. I'll get Fitz in there. That's what he's here for. Fitz hopefully could give us a spark, get it going. The kid will see and kind of refocus again and say, okay, this is what I got to do in this situation. That's all it is, a learning moment. And at the same time, Flo was protecting his player who was taking a beating. Meanwhile, Fitz came in and started making quicker decisions and wasn't taking the beating. So now you have moved the offense. You got it to the point where you had a chance to tie the game. He just threw the interception. With Tua, you weren't even going to get there. And maybe you would have never gotten there because maybe he ends up injured. I am totally with Flo on this. And Tua's not the first rookie and won't be the last that struggles. Peyton Manning threw 4,000 interceptions his rookie year. Drew Brees sucked for 3 years. You can say all you want about Justin Herbert. He doesn't win. I'm sorry. He's put up a bunch of stats, but I don't see the difference-making games yet. And you can't blame all on him, but I'm just saying, every week they lose. Rookie quarterbacks struggle left and right. And the decision to bench him last week was the right decision. Okay? That's just the facts. And the same people that were complaining would have killed Flo if he would have left him in there and he ends up injured. No doubt. Oh, well, he's struggling. Can't figure it out. He's taking a beating. He's holding onto the ball. And the coach leaves him in the game. Look what ends up happening. That's how they would have called it that day. And that's why they're phonies. And they're not really being objective about all of this. So let's just have a hot take that is stupid and ignorant and also convenient. Because if it wasn't this hot take, it would have been the other hot take, oh, he's injured.
Getting back to what you were saying earlier, we're kind of a victim of our short-lived success, right? That's why people are freaking out with this Denver loss, correct?
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alexa says, we grilling today at Flipper 13. Okay. I like it. Let's see. Man, I hate these flip-floppers, Big O, Willie Molina. Derek says, Big O, do you think Tua plays? If Fitz plays, I don't think that's a bad choice. Doesn't make sense to play Tua if he's hurt. I get the feeling Tua's not going to play. Because when the coach started talking about contingency plans, that's when I said, a little fishy here. So I get the feeling he's not going to play, but we'll see. You never know.
Oh, getting back to what you were talking about, Tua holding on to the ball a little too long. Mm-hmm. That was one of the reasons why he got hurt. Like, the couple times he did with the ankles and stuff like that.
Right.
Is this something we should be concerned about? That, like, he hasn't, moved forward with that holding the ball? Because this has bit him back in Alabama.
It took 3 years for Drew Brees to figure out NFL defenses, so don't worry about it.
So we're okay.
Yeah,
he's still on schedule.
He's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, it just that holding the ball has gotten him hurt in the past, and that's our main concern.
And I bet they're talking to him about, no, quick decision, get the ball out. We don't need you to take the seat. You see these 6 sacks? 3 of these were on you because you held the ball here, here, and here. Yeah, and there was the guy. Get rid of it quickly or throw it away. And I'm sure Saban told him that, and his QB coach or whoever the hell it is.
Flores has a chance because they do it on Tuesday together, right?
They're all telling him. I'm saying that this has been going on for years. It's not just these guys. It's Alabama staff telling him the same thing. Big O haven't tuned in for 3 weeks. Thoughts on the Marlins hire of Kimberly Eng? Well, we did it on Onside. I love the hire. She's overqualified. So, look, in the end, guys, it's all about this lady and the front office finding players, and then the Marlins have to make the commitment of the long-term deal. So Kimberly could do her job and find players, but if the owner doesn't sign them to long-term contracts, then it doesn't really matter. So I've been pretty consistent on all of this. I love what they're doing. And that's a great way of reestablishing the team and fixing your minor league system. But eventually these minor leaguers will become major leaguers. And when a few of them become stars, what are you going to do? And that's not on Kimberly. And that will be on Sherman and Jeter. And that's when you ultimately will measure the Marlins. And we're going to find out also. See, the important thing about all of this with the Marlins, and I'll get back to football in a second. What we need to find out is there are 3 ways to run a baseball team. You ready? The way the Marlins have been running for 20-plus years under Loria, cheap, under the radar, don't spend, yada, 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 don't keep anybody, backloaded contracts so you can use them for a year or 2 and then get rid of them because you were never going to – we have no players that we can identify with from beginning to end. Even the Panthers – have invested in Barkov and what's it called? Ekblad and who's the other guy that's been here for a while that I'm brain farting now. But anyway, they have at least these are guys that are growing up with the team now. Whether they accomplish anything or not as a team, that's a whole different ballgame. But at least there are guys there that they're growing up and kids can identify with them and the team. Marlins we've never had a player like that. We've never had a player that we brought up from the minors and we watched him get old. Okay? We never see that. And that the Marlins need a few of those so that way young people grow up with a guy for 15 years and they can identify with the team. So it's up to them now to make that commitment to several players and build a core. So Kimberly can do her job, but her job won't mean nearly as much if Sherman and Jeter aren't in it. So there are 3 ways to build a baseball team. 1, you can be the team that is Jeffrey Loria type, that you're not going to spend, you're not going to do anything. We'll see if these guys are like that. 2, you can be the team that spends a lot of money, develops a core, develops minor leaguers, and you're going to spend like the Yankees, you're going to spend like the Dodgers, you're going to spend like the Cubs. You know what I'm saying? The Astros. There are certain teams that can spend money, right? Marlins probably won't be that one. And then there's the third way. The third way is that you draft, develop, and you hope that you catch lightning in a bottle like 2003 or like the Kansas City Royals of, was it 2016, I believe, 17?
I want to say it's a little bit further removed.
15?
Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay, well, that Royals team.
Maybe on the early side of the middle.
That Royals team that won that title, they caught lightning in a bottle like the 2003 team. They had a whole bunch of young guys, and they all hit at the right time. They won their title, and then they dismantled them. And then you load up again, and you hope that you could catch lightning in a bottle by getting a whole bunch of young guys that are coming up at the same time. They all have career years. You sprinkle in a veteran or two. You don't have to spend a ton of money because all those young guys are within their first 6 years. So you're only spending on a couple of veterans, 2, 3, 4 veterans, a pitcher, a bullpen guy, a bat. You don't spend that much money. And you hope to catch that lightning in a bottle. So I don't know what Marlins team they're expecting to build. But it's one of those 3 roads that they have to choose. I don't think they'll be the Loria one. I don't think they'll be the Dodger, Yankee, Astro one. I kind of get the feeling that they're going to be the third one that I told you, that they're going to try to draft, develop, and catch lightning in a bottle with a whole bunch of young guys and just a couple of veterans.
215 on the Royals.
15, there you go. So that's what I think is going to happen. So I love the hire. Kimberly is more than qualified, but she's going to need help. Okay? Let's see, what else do we have here on the chat board? Big O, you are muted. Big O, your elevation of the Dolphins has always been spot on. I'm glad Greer's our GM, 2008 present. Big O's show is the only show. Thank you, NorCal. Appreciate you, my man. What else do we have here?
You know, I just hope everybody is enjoying some of the leftovers. That is part of the fun of Thanksgiving Day, right?
I had it last night, and,
You
and it knocked me out, bro. The tryptophan
the tryptophan kicked you again?
I didn't even have I was hoping to be up late and watch stuff, and it killed me. Oh, you know, Finns fans are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah, Philip, that's the last 20 years. Got to forget about that, bro. We got to leave that behind, man. It's a different organization. Rosendo says, good afternoon, Big O. Well said. And we have to move on and think positive and move forward to a better future. I'm with you, man.
Speaking of female first, man, we got Sarah Fuller in Vanderbilt that could become the first female to play in a Division I Power 5 conference game.
Josh says, oh, should we panic about Tua? LOL. No, we shouldn't panic about Tua. With Bam Adebayo's extension, do you think they still weigh the Heat can maneuver a trade for Giannis before the season starts or during the trading deadline? Nope. I think we're done with Giannis. I don't think they get Giannis at all. Okay? So I got to be honest. I just don't think it's going to end up happening. Willie says, bro, I miss your effing energy. Well, bro, you got to listen to Onside Radio every day, Willie, 11 a.m. 11 a.m., we're on Onside Radio, bro. Download the MyTuner Radio app. You listen, I know that I got derailed a little bit here. We're going to get this back on track, I promise you, because we haven't invested all this time to let it go. So I'm not doing that.
Look, you can miss this format and us, but you don't have to miss the Big O. He's there, 11 to 1 every day, Monday through Friday.
Every day we're here for you guys. Too Extreme says, everyone needs to slow the F down and stop focusing and looking on all the negative about this team. Amen, bro. There is no negative. They're 6-4. Okay? They got a shot for the playoffs. There is no negative about the Dolphins. None.
Speaking of which, let me ask you, with where the records are and the number of teams that are 7-3, and whatnot, is there a good possibility that somebody's 10-6 and is left out,
Could
even
happen.
With the 7-team, expansion of an extra?
Dude, it's happened many times. The Dolphins were 10-6 one year and they didn't make it.
It's just there's such a logjam, at that area of the record.
With Dave Wannstedt. They were 10-6 one year and they didn't make it, bro. Jeffrey Vincent says, I never seen so much negativity press because a rookie lost one game. Herbert lost, Burrow lost, and the national media gives him praise. Tua, 3 straight wins, 1 loss, and Tua's a bust. Yeah, it's stupidity, Vincent. It's this 24-hour cycle. We got to fill time, so let's overreact and let's stir crap up, and it's just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Let's see. GP Trap says, yes, a learning moment. Damn right. That's all it is for Tua. Let's see. Big O, I think Chan Gailey can put this offense in a better position. I think it's time to take the training wheels off and let the kid play. I think they're trying their best, bro. It's up to the kid to catch up. I like Chan, man. I'm not going to put this on Chan. I'm just going to put it on the growth of a young quarterback, and it takes them a little while. Willie goes, ESPN will always be off target when it comes to our Dolphins. Yeah, it's just they got a lot of people that are just gas-bagging. Anthony says, what are your predictions for the Roy Jones and Mike Tyson fight tonight on pay-per-view? I got to tell you something, Anthony. Let's talk a little bit about that Roy Jones Tyson fight. I think it's a disaster in the making. They're going to stop it if there's any blood. They're going to stop it if anybody gets a little woozy. They're going to stop it if there's a small cut or anything. They're not going to allow them to really fight. It's an exhibition. So to pay $50 for something that's going to be stopped immediately for anything, we're not going to get to see a brawl. We're not going to get to see a guy get knocked down and literally get up again, and his face is swollen. He's, hey, cut me, Mick, and then let me go after you and go. We're not seeing that, dude. And so to me, I think this is a sucker's moment, and I think anybody and everybody paying $50 for this and expecting a real extravaganza here, you're a fool. Now, if you're paying $50 to watch a train wreck and laugh at the moment and all that, and you don't care about the $50, great attitude. That's the way you watch the Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight, because they're wearing headgear. They're not really, they're not going to be allowed to really go after it. So to me, this is just, and listen, I got to tell you something. There's a real twisted part in our society, because these are men in their 50s already. And we want to see them kill each other in the ring, which, with everything we know about CTE and concussions and everything else that comes with all of that, dementia and Alzheimer's and all this stuff, we as animals are rooting for these two guys to get in the ring and knock themselves out, which we all know that at their ages now at this point, if they take a severe beating, it could be something that completely changes the rest of their lives. Whatever's left could be a lot worse. Just let that marinate a little bit. That's how screwed up we are as a society, that we're actually doing this like this. Really.
let the younger guys beat the crap out of each other?
I mean, it's.
You would think with the headgear on, though, they'd let them go a little bit more because they do have some protection, right?
Yeah, but I think they also don't want to let them go because it's two prized fighters in the history of fights.
If there
the history
were
of boxing, that is. Two guys are going to go in the Hall of Fame if they're not already in the Boxing Hall of Fame. And so now you're going to hold an exhibition so they can kill themselves? It really is kind of low life on our part as a society.
God forbid something really happened from a medical standpoint and one of these
Scary.
guys, you know what? There would never be another exhibition fight ever, right?
Yep. No, it just not like this. No, you won't have it. You won't have it. And then you've got the Paul one with Nate Robinson and stuff. And this is crazy. Clee Torres chimes in with the first super chat. He says, long time no see. See, he says no see. Because, see, Clee is probably listening on Onside Radio, but he can't see me on Onside Radio. That's a good one. I like that. Let's see. Bromar says, Marlins can't afford to pay great players. This is why I don't watch MLB. No salary cap keeps teams like the Marlins and Rays as farm teams. I mean, can you argue with that? It's really hard, right? How can Bill can't remember the year the Royals went nuts? Isn't that one of his 15 teams Bill loves? That's true. That's actually a really good point. That's a strong point on your part because he has a Royals hat somewhere in the house. So, yeah, because it's probably collected a little dust because it is from 2015. But, yeah, that's probably what it is in NorCal. He forgot that was one of his 15 teams
I know,
at the moment.
I know I'm not going to need it for another, 2 or 3 decades. So, it's put away.
Yep. Dougie Fresh is in. It says, not many can sport a Van Morrison shirt, a Spider-Man, what's it called, mask, and a 305 together. Your outfit is like Bill's favorite team. The Giants, Finns, Rams, 49ers, Vikings. Nothing but love for you and Bill. Thank you. Thank you, Dougie. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You can tell it's a Van Morrison shirt. Wow. Okay. I didn't think you could actually tell because it kind of gets lost in here, right? Gets lost right around my titties. Anyway, let's see. Bro, how can I go to Onside on Apple? Look for the Onside Zone. Okay? Onside Zone with Big O. It'll pop up on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, Pandora, everywhere. Okay? It's Onside Zone is the name of the show. All right? I had to name it something different because I couldn't name it Big O Show because it would clash with our podcast. So then when people would be looking for it, so we called it Onside Zone. And there you go. Okay? Let's see. What else do we have here? I'm ecstatic. If the Dolphins have 9 wins and up, I expect if they win 1 game up from last year. Exactly. I'm with you. Derek says, Big O, I think Robert Hunt is suited more for a right guard. Davis should start at right tackle the rest of the season until we get a true right tackle. Listen, Derek, I got to tell you right now, I haven't seen enough of Hunt to make the declaration that he's either a tackle or guard, or maybe he's both. I'm not exactly sure. It's only been a few games for these kids. We got to give them time to grow, man. What else do we have? Boxing is a bad situation when people are watching 2 boxers past their primes fighting it out. Amen? Radically says, I think it's great having Fitz available to go in and save games while Tua learns. No other rookie QB team has it. Tua's first snow game is probably not going to be pretty. That's called great coaching in front office, that you can plan ahead and you know that there are going to be bumps in the road, and if you're prepared for them, whether he struggles or he gets injured, you have somebody there. So I'm with you all the way. If we don't make the playoffs but have a winning record this season, will be a huge success in year 2 of a rebuild. It will be very promising. Derek, it's already a successful season. They've already got 6 wins. They had 5 last year. They should have 7 this week. They should have 8 the following week. that's a monster improvement if you go from 5 to 8. That's all. If you stay 8-8, that's what I thought they would be this year. I'd be more than happy. If they get to 9 or 10, I'm going to lose my lunch, dude. Like, it's phenomenal. You're going to double your wins? What? So you won 5 games last year. Now you're going to win 10? Are you out of your mind? How did you win 5 last year? How the hell are you winning 10 this year? You know? So, no, I'm not. The playoffs are a bonus. Look, Dolphins, you stay in the moment, okay? Watch the players improve. Watch the coaches improve. Watch the talent level improve. Watch the wins. Ride it out week to week. Don't think about 4 weeks from now or 8 weeks from now or whatever. Don't demand the playoffs. I've told you guys this before, right? Don't go painting unrealistic pictures, because then you get pissed off at the team because you set unrealistic expectations. Enjoy this week only. Let's watch the Dolphins beat the Jets. Let's talk about it next week. Let's have some fun with it. Let's laugh at Adam Gase. Then we'll get ready for the Bungles. And slowly but surely, you'll watch how the season, if you look back, big picture, you go, damn, dude, that's pretty good. They've improved a lot from last year. And they have already. They're already improving from last year. So that's why, to me, don't go into this zone where you start, forecasting what's going to happen 4 weeks from now. And, we should win 11 games. And when they don't, well, wait a minute, you never thought they were going to win 11 games at the beginning of the year. So why'd you change your mind? And then when they don't reach it, you're the one that put the unrealistic expectations. This was a 5-win team last year. How much more can you really win from 5 games, realistically? So you shouldn't be doing that to yourself. Just stay in the moment. Right now, just enjoy the Jets game. Let's enjoy the Jet week. Let's beat the Jets. Let's move on. And then we'll talk about the Bungles. That's all. It's pretty simple, man. It's really not that difficult.
Getting caught up in the win frenzy, right? Getting ravenous.
Right. Yeah. Orlando, do you think Miami will go after Stills after the stuff he said about Ross? I don't think so. I don't think Kenny Stills is coming here. I was joking around yesterday when I saw Cameron Wolf post it. I said, yeah, Flo will sign him with Jay-Z music in the background. No, he's not coming here. At least I don't think so. Okay?
If you get him at a discounted rate, do you take him?
I just don't think he's coming here. I don't think he's going to choose here. I don't think they're going to choose him. They traded him away. They already had certain issues with him before, and then, he took his shots at Ross. I understand if the Dolphins don't sign him.
It's kind of hard to see him married up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So my guess would be no, Kenny Stills does not re-sign here with the Miami Dolphins. Let's see, what else do we have here? Realistically, what happens with the playoffs and Super Bowl if a major superstar like Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, or Rodgers test positive? When would they push it back to? I don't know, Anthony. That's a great question. I don't think you do, because tickets are committed. Whatever fans are going to be there, sponsors are committed. Television stations have already set the date for the broadcast. So I would imagine you're going to have 2 weeks, remember, for the Super Bowl. Guess what happens in those 2 weeks? Guess. Quarantine, baby. So the second you're done with the NFC and AFC championship games, they will put your ass in a hotel. Mark my words. There will be no freedom. You will go in your hotel, and you will stay in that bubble with the teams for the next 2 weeks, because you're in the Super Bowl. And all of those guys that say, honey, I'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll FaceTime. We're good. I'm in the Super Bowl. I need to win this. And every player will be for it, NFLPA, the NFL, mark my words, they will bubble the two teams in the Super Bowl because they've got 2 weeks.
And
so
ensure that game gets kicked off and played.
Even if you get COVID in the AFC NFC Championship game, you'll be able to quarantine, get rid of it, test negative, and boom, and you're out. You're done. So the Super Bowl will be the safest game of them all, actually, when you really think about it. Okay?
What a bastardized version. We've hosted many a Super Bowl, and having been VIP, blah, the clubs, man, it's a party couple of weeks. It's a shame, man. You know? There's
it's 2020, bro.
What was it? We had Guns N' Roses doing there was a
virus,
whole
bro.
bunch of stuff for those 2 weeks.
Virus, bro. We had 1,367 die yesterday, 164,000 cases.
I know. I'm just
149,000 2 days ago, and 1,413 dead.
You know what my point is.
I know. I get you.
Because here they say it. The second biggest, the 1-2 party days, AB, are New Year's and the Super Bowl.
Something tells me I would have had more of a party in the 3 days at Rockville this year. Anyway, Big O, stoked that you and Bill with Onside just seems weird without him. He's there. He's part of it. Just everything takes time. Everything's got to be done the right way. That's all. It's just a process that has to go through. Okay? Alex says, I got a question. Can you look back at the game Tua played when he hurt his hip and they were killing the team and Nick Saban left him in when he should have taken him out and the coach was upset? There you go. There you go. You're right. They were up by like 25 or 30 points or something. They were killing Mississippi. You're right. Big O, I know we have 6 more games this year, but at this point, what are the top needs in the 21 draft? I still think, you need wide receiver. You got to have, I still think you need linebackers. I would still draft another offensive lineman.
Some edge rushers.
A running back. A defensive end. It's a lot of needs, man. It's a lot of needs. Maybe a free safety.
I was just going to say maybe one safety, right?
Yeah, free safety, because Bobby McCain has done a really good job, but he's an undersized free safety. Maybe you find somebody that's ideal for that position. There's a lot of things, man. There's a lot of things. Remember, there's a young team. They are overcoming a lot like they did last year just to win 5 games. They didn't really have the talent to win 5 games. And this year, they're probably overachieving again. Good coaching staff, man.
Aren't you excited, man? Like the way we drafted and you see the guys actually.
I love it.
Like, and even our free agents, street free agents, the undrafted, the practice. Man, like these guys really know talent, bro.
Yep. Yeah, no, there's no doubt. Big O, I get we want to win. Don't tell me how to enjoy the season. I get that we need drafts to improve. I want to be in the moment of winning it like Christmas. It's not about winning. It's about. I'm not exact. It's like playing in an NFL team that we haven't been looking at, like an NFL team. We don't get deep passes. We barely have exciting highlights. I'm tired of people saying we're trash because I'm a knock a Jets fan. I swear. All right. Relax, my brother.
No, but you can understand. We were talking about it yesterday, how obnoxious they
I know, but they're winning.
I mean,
but the Dolphins are winning, bro. They're 6-4. However they win, right now they're not supposed to be the greatest show on turf, bro. That was the Rams team, by the way, of a long time ago. They're not supposed to be that team. They're not supposed to be the Kansas City show right now that you're watching. It's a second-year team in a rebuild, and they're finding ways to win and put themselves in a playoff position. I think that's pretty damn impressive.
Definitely can understand, though, dealing with the Jet fan, being that want to knock them out.
Yep. Let's enjoy the beatdown we're going to give the stinking Jets. It's going to be the last time we play against an Adam Gase coach team, unfortunately. I mean, think about this. On a Thanksgiving Day weekend, we have a lot to be thankful for, okay? We got to be thankful that the Dolphins have a winning record. They're 6-4. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. You got a young quarterback that's got a ton of talent. He's developing. You got a ton of players that are developing. And then you've got to be grateful that you get a second opportunity this year to kick Adam Gase's ass. Now that, my friends, is a beautiful Thanksgiving. It's not just the turkey. It's not just all the spread and the stuffing and the drinks and the family and the football and all of that. You get to watch Adam Gase eat his liver on the sidelines while the Dolphins kick his ass again, while they make his young quarterback see ghosts and throws interceptions, and the Dolphins win. So there's a lot to be grateful for on this Thanksgiving weekend. Think about it. The Johnsons were really nice enough to keep Adam Gase around till this week so the Dolphins could kick his butt once again. I mean, we should be grateful for all of this, ladies and gentlemen. This is a sweet thing that we're doing.
Should send out a thank you personally to the Jets. Thank you for holding Gase in place.
Yes. Man, I gotta thank them for that. I think it's freaking awesome that they've kept, Gase around for us. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, I'm a boxing fan. I find that people overrate Floyd Mayweather Jr. a little bit because he faced fighters with top-end power. He ran away a lot during those fights. It's not that he ran away, Anthony. It's that he's a defensive fighter, and he's always been that. When he was young, he had power. But I think he had some kind of a wrist injury years ago, and he lost some of that power, and he ended up boxing instead. And so he'll outbox you and outpoint you. It's not really that he is not the guy to stand in the middle of the ring and just blow by blow. He'll lose a lot if he does that.
From a tactical standpoint, and the guy was a beast.
Right, and you got to understand, Anthony, that the trick in boxing is to hit and not be hit. He is one of the greatest of all time doing that. Almost no one has ever done it better than Floyd Mayweather, where he can hit you and he can avoid you.
Defense number one, right?
Yes, the best.
Best
defensive
no
fighter
question, right?
I have ever seen in my life is that guy. It's the best defensive fighter I have ever seen in my life. And that's why some, like you, look at it that he's running away, but he's actually boxing. And that's the difference. That's what a boxer does. He sticks and moves, sticks and moves. He's not a puncher. He's not a brawler. That's not what he does. Sugar Ray Leonard was a lot like that. Sugar had more power early and throughout his career than Floyd Mayweather. But Sugar was smart enough, except in the Duran fight, where he outboxed you most of the time. And the one time that he thought he was going to be Mr. Tough Guy, he stood in the middle of the ring with Roberto Duran, and he lost. Because you don't do that with mano de piedra. If you do that with manos de piedra, you will lose. And that's what he did, and he lost. And in the second fight, it was like the chicken and Rocky, the first go-around. He danced, he boxed, and he frustrated Duran to the point that he said, no mas, because he couldn't catch the chicken. And it wasn't that Sugar was dodging him. It was that Sugar outboxed him. And that's the beauty of boxing. That's the art of boxing. When you can stick and move and the other guy can't hit you, that's the ultimate fighter in boxing. We all want the warrior that will stand there toe-to-toe and just pound each other. Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury had the combination of delivering big blows, but he could also box. So when he beat, oh man, now I'm forgetting the guy he just beat. Somebody help me out there. Now I'm brain farting, but when he beat the big dude that is just a fighter, that was his problem, that he could only fight. He could only brawl. And once he ran into a boxer in Fury that could box and move and avoid big punches, he was done. So it's not really the art of running away. It's the art of being a great boxer. And that's what Floyd has always been. Even though it may frustrate some people at times, but nobody is like him. He's been, second to none.
Tyson Fury, wild.
But yes, there we go.
That's the two guys.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the guy from Georgia.
Yeah, that's
American, and Tyson Fury.
And Wilder can't box.
Look, we've said it before.
So Wilder looked like a complete fool against Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury can box and punch. That's the difference.
Oh, like we've said, they don't call it brawling. They don't call it punching. They call it boxing.
Yep.
It's boxing that wins.
Yep, exactly. Tony Segala says, loving the Spider-Man mask, Big O. Finns beat the Jets 31-10. I like that, Tony. Big O, if Miami shuts out the Jets, suck. Will Gase really keep his job? I vote yes. They will. It looks like they're holding on to him to get Trevor Lawrence. Hey, if we keep him in place for guaranteed of 0-16, we'll get Trevor Lawrence. And then we can either trade Trevor or we can trade Sam Darnold. Obviously, you trade Sam Darnold. Let's see, what else do we have here? Because my favorite fighters are Oscar De La Hoya and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and Canelo Alvarez. All right, that's fine. Oscar was a boxer, too. Now, he was a puncher. He could also get in there and brawl. But there are certain guys that are just beautiful fighters. Right, and that's what Mayweather is, man. Now listen. The one thing I could pick on Mayweather at times is he was very calculated when he picked certain fighters at what point in their careers and all of that. Like what he did with Pacquiao. He didn't pick Pacquiao when Pacquiao was in his prime. He waited 7 years till Pacquiao was old and not the same guy, so he can beat him. Because maybe 6 years prior, Pacquiao had the punch and was a boxer. It was the dangerous combination that Mayweather probably did not want to deal with. Those kind of things I can pick on Mayweather for. But as the strategy of how he, what he does in the ring, it's perfect. It's perfect.
It's the perfect fight. We remember it well, obviously, being Sugar Ray guys. Marvin Hagler against Sugar Ray. And Hagler was kind of like the puncher, the bruiser, and Sugar Ray. And of course, the Marvin people think that he beat him.
Right.
Man, it's like in the 9th or 10th round, and this is what typified the fight, and it's like Sugar. The fact that he dominated the pace, the tempo of the bout, and it was like the 9th or 10th round, and he's got Hagler so aggravated, and he throws a punch and just far off his weight, and Sugar Ray sidesteps him and is able to throw a kidney punch.
Right, yeah.
On the side of Hagler, like he steps away.
And he scored points.
And it was like that one exchange shows that the boxer frustrated and aggravated the puncher.
Yeah. But Sugar also waited till Hagler was old to do that fight.
Well, he saw...
He didn't fight a younger Marvin Hagler because...
He saw what Hagler and Tommy Hearns did those 3 rounds, and it was like, I'm not doing...
That would not have been a good decision on his part.
Oh, man, the most punches
Marvelous was amazing when he was young.
That fight.
Great fighter. Great fighter.
We were very lucky to have those 3 guys. And there was even more, in the middle weight class. But, man, Hagler, Hearns, Sugar Ray.
Hagler was one of my favorite fighters. And when Hagler was coming up, I believe this is how it went. I think it was Hagler. I'm pretty sure. I'm kind of old now, so I don't remember everything. But I was a young man. And I wanted a color TV in my bedroom. So I bet my dad, because he was a Fulgencio Oba Mejias fan. Most of you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but he was a boxer, Fulgencio Oba Mejias. And he was fighting Hagler. I believe that's what it was. And so I remember going to the Radio Shack in Miracle Mile, and I saw a color TV. It was like a 23-inch television or something like that. It was small TV. But in those days, that was like highfalutin, in those days. It was just like, it was like a big thing. Because we're talking, I want to say late 70s is that fight, I want to say. Look it up, Marvin Hagler versus Fulgencio Obamehias. All right? Do you know how to spell Fulgencio, Mr. American?
No, but Google does, bro.
Okay.
Guess who's using the speaker?
Tell me what date was that fight. I think it was Hagler versus Fulgencio Obamehias. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was a huge Hagler fan watching him come up on HBO. I had the HBO antenna at home where you didn't have cable or anything. You just had an HBO antenna. Those were the days where you either had HBO or on TV. Remember that? And you would, watch in the middle of the night the on TV line, hoping that it would move to the left and you would see, Anyway, so HBO, I would watch Marvin come up. And
bro, I love the speaker when it works.
What is it?
Ready for this?
What is it? What year?
It's 29 days after your birthday, by the way. October 30th, 1982.
Oh, 82. There you go. I thought it was late 70s.
Hey, during that time, it was still a big thing. If you were a kid and got a TV
color
in your
TV.
room.
Color TV.
In your room, bro.
Remote.
Dude, in your room. You remember?
In my room. Color TV remote.
Back in the day, there was like one in the big room with the family, and there was maybe a secondary, but it was in the living room, the family room. You didn't get a TV in your room.
Right.
You were lucky.
So Obamehias is a good fighter. He thought he would beat Hagler. And I said, okay, let's bet that Hagler would win that fight, right? And I bet with my dad, rest in peace, that Hagler would win. And sure enough, we went to Radio Shack the next day, and I got me a color TV so I can watch HBO.
What was the inches on that, bro?
It was like 23.
20. Yeah, that was big. That was good size, right?
Like
back in the day.
Yeah, it was a nice size TV, maybe 21 or 22 or something. But it was just over the 20 mark. I forgot what it was exactly, but it was.
You would have to buy the special adapter to hook up your Atari.
It was so fresh, bro, because it had the little digital channels on it in those days, like little red numbers, so it had the up arrow, down arrow. So it was channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, 10.
You still would have to get the attachment to hook up your Atari, right?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
And then I
Thank God for Radio Shack.
And then I had a remote with it. So, you had a color remote TV in your room in 1982. That's huge. I mean, that was like you're a king. Seriously. You're a king. Like, everybody, like the kids in the neighborhood are like, you got a color TV in your room? That kind of stuff. So it was awesome. It was awesome.
That was about the time that I got the hand-me-down, the third TV.
What was?
Because I bought the new one.
By the way, what was Fulgencio Obamehias' record in that fight? See if you can find that. You got his name there, right? Just put Obamehias versus Hagler and put measurements. Put Obamehias, Hagler, measurements, and maybe it'll come out. There we go. Julius 305 says, on TV lines on Saturday night, you too, Big O? Of course, bro. What young man wasn't waiting for that on TV line to switch to the left? And you go, wow, boobies. Yeah, of course. Every young man was doing that.
Chasing that line, trying to get it right.
Of course, bro.
Bro, rabbit ears, ready? Rabbit ears connected with tinfoil to touch your screen in the window so you could get a better signal.
Everybody had some funky way of doing it and trying to see on TV one way or another. Let's see. What else do we have here? Tommy Hearns versus Hagler might be in the conversation for the best fight of all time, or one of the best knockouts of all time, right? Because that's the one where Hearns is boom, and he
do know this.
Right to the ground.
The record for the most punches thrown.
Tommy didn't have the best chin in the world.
Most punches thrown in a 3-round fight, and I forget if it's the second or third round, but the most punches ever thrown in a single round. That fight,
that was a great fight.
Oh,
it was a great fight. I think Larry Holmes was the most dominant heavyweight champion of my lifetime. People don't talk about it much because no one could touch him for years. Yeah, but he also was in an era where it was one of the worst eras of heavyweights too.
Ken Norton, Ernie Shavers, all the guys that that were decent fighters they
were old already.
It was
they were done.
Unfortunately,
Larry had a great jab. His jab was, awesome. But he also was blessed that he stepped in an era where it was useless, dude. It was everybody, Muhammad Ali, everybody was old and done and cooked, and so it kind of worked out for him. He's a great heavyweight. I'm not going to take anything away from him.
He had it for what, 8, 9 years or something? It was a long run.
It was a long run, but I still think Tyson did the same thing. I got to tell you, there wasn't really a lot of people to the heavyweight. That was the start of the end of the heavyweight. Put it that way. Okay? Well, let's be honest now. When Holmes started, it was the beginning of the end of the heavyweight division.
Who was the best second?
Because we love Tyson mauling people, but he mauled nobody. Really, let's just be honest. He was just a brawler and all that, but he didn't run into anybody until Holyfield, who was undersized as a heavyweight. But again, let's go back to our conversation. Boxing. Boxing is the art of hitting and not getting hit. What do you think happened to Tyson in that Holyfield fight? He got frustrated because he didn't have it to fight a boxer because he was a brawler. So most guys, he could get to him and hit him. Holyfield was a tactician, ate him up alive. He frustrated him so much he bit his ear. Durant said, no mas, no mas. Tyson said, let me get a piece of you. The other way. You know what I'm saying?
Who was Holmes' biggest guy? Maybe Leonard Spinks, right? Because Leonard had won the title and Holmes took it from him. Like
Tyson killed him.
Yeah.
So
that was Michael. Again, that was Michael Spinks, right?
No, I'm saying Tyson beat Holmes.
Yeah. Well, Holmes beat Ali. Yeah, after Ali took it for the 5th or 6th, it was his 5th or 6th.
He beat an old, fat
yes.
Ali.
That was the thing. Ali took it from Spinks, right? Leonard Spinks.
Yeah, Leon.
I'm sorry.
I was every time I see that Ali, it was like, come on, dude, don't fight. Get out of there. Get out of the damn game. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and then Larry looked like that against Tyson. Yeah.
I hated Larry Holmes for what he did to Muhammad Ali. Well, I mean, that's Muhammad Ali's fault. Not anybody else. Muhammad Ali got all that Parkinson's from hanging on to boxing. Guaranteed. I am convinced of that. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. We're out here, by the way, at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. We love being out here as always, folks. Remember, they've always got some great deals, $750 off for military veterans. The 2020 ILX is $189 a month. The 2020 TLX, $249 a month. So come on down to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. For the last 10 years, 2021 RDX is $339 a month. The Season of Performance event is going on right now, folks. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you out here at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. It is the best dealership in the business. No better Acura dealership in the world than Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
1 hour and 13 minutes of running amok.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moody'sdental.com. Go to the website. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you. 305-821-0231 or go to moody'sdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
America's premium sport compact sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. 2020 ILX, $199 a month, $199. And Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moodyusdental.com, go to the website, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moodius Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you, 305-821-0231, or go to moodyusdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to peer, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
All right. I got the Florida-Kentucky game going on right now. Florida's leading Kentucky 14-10. That Trask kid can play, bro. You know, I know I'm not a Gator guy or anything like that. Obviously, being a UM guy, it's in my blood to hate the Gators. But I got to be objective. The Trask kid can play, man.
Kid's got Sunday, right?
He's Sundays. He will be playing on Sundays. Somebody's going to draft that kid, and they're going to try to make him an NFL quarterback, and he might be just that, man. He's got the goods, man. He's got the talent to be one of those guys. I'm very disappointed now. The game is going to be really boring now. I hope he's back next week. Oh, what happened? Did Tua get knocked out for the game or something? Is that what it is? I don't know. Some break that I didn't see? Let's see. What do we have here? Somebody reported something? You guys know something I don't know yet? I didn't know. I didn't know anything about this. Did he get called out? I don't know. You tell me. Let's see. Oh, we have elevated quarterback Reed Sinnott to the active roster for Sunday's game. That means Tua's not going to play, probably. Or they're protecting themselves that he may be injured. Let me see. Let me look and see if somebody is reporting that he is out. Let's see here, folks. Dolphins starting quarterback Tua has been downgraded to doubtful because of his thumb injury suffered in practice this week. That means Ryan Fitzpatrick will likely start against the Jets. What didn't I say earlier in the first hour that I didn't think Tua was going to play? Didn't I say that?
Yeah, there was that little code word that Flo threw in there that you picked up on.
Yep, exactly. Once he said contingencies, that turned me off right there. I was like, hey, okay, he's not playing. He's not playing. So Tua's listed as doubtful now for the game. I think this is a good thing. I got to tell you, you want to know why this is a good thing? It's not good that he's injured. It's good that they're smart enough to say, well, let's not force it. Okay, the kid's not 100%. And last week, he took 6 sacks and a pounding, and they said, you know what? Let's get him out of there right now because the line is not giving him time. He's getting a little flustered. He's holding on to the football. He's taking a beating. He's had enough injuries in his career. Let's get him out. And by the way, he went into that game with a foot injury. So now he's got the thumb injury from practice, hitting a helmet, which that could happen. That happens to every quarterback at one point or another in their career, and maybe it happens at least 4 or 5 times in their career. Okay? The thumb hit on a helmet, oh my Lord, that's normal. So Tua now listed as doubtful. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I want him to play too, but it's the Jets. It's not the end of the world. They can beat him without him, and that's why you've got Fitz. And you know what? If he's not close to 100% next week, bench his ass also for Cincinnati and get him ready for the stretch run and the tougher games. And let Fitzpatrick play against his 2 former teams. He's played for the Bengals, and he's played for the Jets. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure, I think he may have started with the Bengals. I believe Ryan Fitzpatrick was drafted by the Bengals. I want to say. Let me see if I can. Sometimes, I struggle with walking and chewing gum. But let me see right now if I can actually do this while I'm talking to you and see if I get the draft status of Fitzpatrick. Okay? Because some tells me that he was drafted by the Bengals. Let's see. He was drafted by the Rams, actually, in 2005-06. Then he went to the Bengals from 7 to 8.
Was that the 2005? That's the tail end of the fastest show on turf or whatever.
I guess. I don't know. They
picked him
in the 7th round in 2005. Okay. There you go.
7th round quarterback to have this long of a career, bro.
Oh, it's a phenomenal run for him, dude. Rams, Bengals, Bills, Titans, Texans, Jets, Buccaneers, and now Dolphins. There you go. Is that
just a professional quarterback, like we've said in the past?
Yes. That's what he is. The 250th pick overall in the draft. So, listen, don't lose your lunch on all of this that Tua isn't playing. It sucks for us as Dolphin fans because we don't get to watch our guy and we want to watch him develop. But more importantly, we want people to handle things responsibly. I'll give you an example. The mastermind, okay? Mike Shanahan. They draft RG3. Do you remember when RG3 was all effed up and they kept him in the game?
A playoff game, man.
Okay? They kept him in that game and he took another shot from Haloti Nada and then it was all over but the shouting at that point. Do you want your head coach to manage your QB that way?
The kid never recovered, man.
No, he never recovered. And think about this. And you normally recover from knee injuries. Okay? Nowadays you normally do. That kid lost the speed that he needed in order to be a quarterback because he's not a pocket passer. He's a guy that needed his athleticism to be a quarterback. And it helped in the first year. But then after he got slammed, he was never that same guy again. So I ask you this. Do we go tough guy route and, let's keep him in there and keep taking sacks and keep getting crushed and he's taking 6 sacks. Nah, so what if he gets 10? He's learning. Do you want him in there with a thumb injury that he can't really manipulate the ball the way he wants to? And he's got to, kind of then adjust to that? And he's got to already adjust to the game as it is? No. You want to handle these things responsibly. Because if you don't handle David Carr the right way and you allow him to get sacked 75 times in a season, you risk losing him mentally forever. That's exactly what happened to David Carr. Never the same guy again after he took a beating with the Texans. You have to handle these things the right way. And if Tua has an injury, I remember what Flo said a while back. He goes, hey, man, look, if it's my kid, I wouldn't want the coach throwing him out there if he's not ready physically. We got to make sure everything's set and all that. Remember when he said, I'm paraphrasing, but he was talking about that, how he's going to look out for him? Well, what he told you he was going to do, he's doing it. Take it easy, baby.
Hey, man. Exactly like you said. He equated it to how would you handle your own child?
Exactly. And so he feels like he's responsible for Tua. And there's no hurry. That's the other thing. Let's be honest here. We don't need Tua to become a superstar quarterback by the end of the year. Okay, this is a process, and it's going to take a couple of years for him to figure everything out. Figure out the defenses, figure out training the right way, figure out how to prepare properly, figuring out his body, what he needs to do to maintain it at a high level at this level. Like Devontae Parker did not treat his body the right way early on, and he suffered all kinds of injuries. Now he's adjusted, and he's doing things that are different, and it's keeping him on the field more than ever. Okay, he's still getting a little dinged up, but at least he has found a way to stay on the field more than ever. And so Tua, those are all the adjustments going on. And as for the coach, he's not going to force the issue and ruin the young man. You drafted him, take it easy. There's no hurry here. So the fact that he's not playing, it's not the end of the world. Miami will be fine. I'm still looking forward to the game. It still could be their 7th win of the season. I'm sorry. It will be their 7th win of the season, and that's all that matters. Okay? Not a big deal. It really isn't. It sucks, but anybody can hit their thumb on a stinking helmet. Happens all the freaking time.
Do you remember how big RG3 was? Like, he was the sensation of that season, man.
Yeah.
And Shanahan in that playoff game
ruined him.
Totally destroyed that. What a shame, man, because that guy was one of the marquee up-and-coming guys, man.
Yep. Uber Beaner says, everything needs to chill out. Tua will be fine and will beat the Jets with Fitzpatrick. Exactly. Let Tua sit. I'm ready for some Fitz magic. Not that I don't love Tua, but if he's not ready, don't rush it. Exactly, Dennis. That's the way it should be looked at. If Fitzpatrick starts winning, I doubt that Tua starts again this year. Flo will keep the hot hand going. Nope, he will not, Miami Kid J. They will go back to Tua. Tua's not playing because he's not 100%. That's it. They will go immediately back to Tua. Remember, Miami Kid J, they were winning when they put Tua in. Do you remember that? They were winning. They weren't losing. They were winning games. And they put Tua in. So they will go back to Tua. I disagree with you on that one.
I have a question for you. Do you think that maybe him sitting this game helps the learning process because he has played a few? He's got a little bit more, in the know, and sitting will help his learning process because he has had the amount of playing time?
All of this will be, because he gets to visualize what he already has done. So, it will help him to a certain extent. But still, nothing's going to help him more than reacting to live defenses and making plays. But, yes, to a certain extent, you're right. It'll help him out a little bit. Drew Boo says, I hate Tua not playing now. Fitz gets to beat a suck-ass team. Oh, man. It's all right, folks. Everything will work out. It's not the worst thing in the world. We'll be fine.
You know what's a little bit anticlimactic this week? Oh, this is Jets week, man. This is usually major. Because of the Jets, the Jets sucking so badly, there's something lost a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Besides COVID and everything, but just because they're so bad.
Right. But I think that's kind of why it takes away from it, because they're so bad, we expect them to win already. You know what I mean? So it kind of takes away from it since they've been so pathetic. But either way, listen, tomorrow it's going to be a lot of fun to watch the Dolphins. Any Jets win is a good win, period. So if the Dolphins beat the Jets tomorrow with the third-string quarterback, I'll be happy as hell. If Flo's got to go out there and play quarterback himself and win, I don't care how they beat the Jets, as long as they beat the Jets and they get their 7th win. In the end, I think last time I checked, we're Miami Dolphins fans, right? So you're just rooting for the team to win. So it doesn't matter if it's Doug Peterson taking Shula to his 325th win. Doesn't matter if it's Greasy looking like Peabody with the glasses. Doesn't matter if it's Marino with the golden locks coming out of the helmet.
Windshield wipers on those greasy glasses.
It doesn't matter who it is. If it's Jay Fiedler, you name it. We're Dolphin fans. So tomorrow it's about the Alquin Orange winning. Doesn't really matter who's quarterbacking. In the end, this will be Tua's team. But right now, he's too hurt to play. So I get it. I like that they're handling this in a responsible fashion. I also like that you have a backup that's capable of going out there and helping you win a game, because that tells me your front office is planning for things the right way, because you want to be prepared. Just like when Jesse Davis goes on COVID, you've got a couple young linemen now you can put in there. You find a Salvon Ahmed, who helped you fill in a little bit when Gaskin was injured. Ahmed, by the way, is out for this game, unfortunately. We've got Tua pretty much out for the thumb injury, even though it's doubtful. He's probably out already. Jesse Davis is coming back from COVID. Don't know if they'll play him at right tackle or guard. Solomon Kinley with the foot injury is out. Salvon Ahmed is out. And Jakeem Grant is questionable with the hamstring injury. You got to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. They're still in a developmental stage as a team. This is not a team that's fighting for the championship. This is not a team that's considered a contender. This is a team that is developing a Brandon Jones. They're developing Robert Hunt. They're developing Austin Jackson. They're developing Raekwon Davis. And they're developing all three of their tight ends. And it just goes on and on and on. That's what this is all about. They happen to be winning while they're actually developing the team. That's where I want you to think about the big picture and be realistic. None of us expected them to be 6-4 in their first 10 games. None of us. So the fact that they're able to develop a young team and win more than they're losing and put themselves in a position that we could at least think about the playoffs, this is an outstanding season. So don't get trapped up in all the little things that are going on. Yes, I hate that Tua's out, but you got Fitz. You can still win. Okay, I hate that Solomon Kinley's out, but you're getting Jesse Davis back. You can still win. You get what I'm saying? There's some young receivers now that they've got to develop. So if Jakeem Grant is out, well, then it's time for the young guys to get an opportunity, and maybe one of them will shine. Right? That's what this is all about. Don't lose sight of that. That's what this entire season was all about. The fact that they're 6-4 and that they're in the playoff mix, that's icing on the cake of a second-year rebuild. The fact that they went 5-4 at the end of last year and knocked the Patriots out and forced them to play the wild card round, which is the beginning of the end of that franchise and their dynasty run, that was the icing on the cake. So don't lose sight of all of what the reality is. The reality is you're still developing a football team. You're still developing a whole bunch of young guys. You know, eventually we'll get to see Jason Stowbridge play a lot. And I want to see if he can play. All of these little things that are happening. You know, Malcolm Perry, like I told you, one of the young guys. Let's see, will he get more this week? And maybe he starts to shine. That's what this is all about. So don't get too hung up on one player out or two players out or whatever. I love this part. Because now we find out, what do you have behind those guys? And so Godchow goes down, and Christian Wilkins, and here comes Raekwon Davis. That's what this is about. That's what I'm looking forward to. Because now I know you're developing young guys that down the line, when you can't count on the older guys, and you only have a few of those kind of guys, because you really don't have a lot of old guys in this team. But if these young guys are developing and they're going in the right direction, that's where we can say, wow, this is a great season. That's the part I want to reiterate to everybody out there. The Miami Dolphins are having a great season. None of us expected them to be in the playoff picture. And the fact that they are in that neighborhood is outstanding. So don't get hung up on an injury here or injury. It's football, man. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be COVID because of 2020. So we've got two things now that affect your team. Injuries have always affected NFL teams. The question is, are you planning ahead for those injuries? Do you have somebody else to take over? And we're finding out that these guys do a pretty damn good job of having plan B and plan C. This is the exciting part about those moments. It's frustrating you lose a player, but then it's exciting to see who's next, how does coaching adjust, and do you still win? And that's big for this franchise. So that's how you should look at all of this. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. John Santos says, hey-oh. Did you finally find how to fit YouTube show in your busy schedule? Yeah, we're working on that, my man. We're working on all of that. It's a little bit of a challenge, but we'll get it done, and this is going to continue. Okay, I know I've had some hiccups here in the last 10 days, 12 days, but we will get this back on track, and we will get this thing going every single day for you guys. Let's see, James Connors has tested positive for coronavirus. Well, there you go. There's a ton of Ravens And now you've got a Steeler getting coronavirus. He had cancer, too. So let's, it's kind of serious for James Conner. Let's hope everything's, it's serious for anybody that gets this, man, because you just don't know what it's going to do to you. Joshua Walsh says, I bet Gailey is fired at the end of the year and Bill O'Brien is the offensive coordinator. I bet you not, Joshua Walsh. I'll bet you anything you want that Bill O'Brien will not be a part of this organization in any way, shape, or form. How about that? Okay? I bet you anything you want that Bill O'Brien won't be here. You did this whole New England thing because he was in New England, and so you just did that math, the obvious math, and it's not going to fly. That guy don't fit here.
You know where we want Bill O'Brien? With another team so we can make more trades with the guy.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I'm going to be cheering the day he gets another job, bro.
I'm with you. NorCal says 3 of the last 4 games are playoff teams. We will see a lot of those the last 4 games. I'm fine with that. That's good. That'll be fun.
Speaking of NorCal, I got a message from him, man. Today, full workout, everything, dude.
Yeah,
from the surgery, no issues, bro.
He posted it.
Awesome, brother.
That's awesome.
Awesome, man.
It's amazing. He's a beast. Big O, how confident are you that the Dolphins can win the division? Oh, I'm not confident that they can win the division. I think they got a shot at it because I think they can beat the Bills, but they've got to be healthy. But they got a shot. I'm not extremely confident, but they've got a shot. There's no doubt. Ohio John, Big O, in your time covering the Dolphins, was there a player the media guys dreaded interviewing following a loss? Well, Jimmy Johnson.
Kevin Brown.
No, he's talking about Dolphins. Brock Marion was a king-sized jerk in every way, shape, and form. Losing. Who was a sore loser that you hated? Marino was always pissed after a loss, but he handled it pretty much with class. Unless you were an idiot and you asked him something really stupid, then Marino would go after you a little bit. I'm trying to remember who was like a total jerk after Dolphins games after a loss. And most of them were pretty good dudes. There are very few jerks in that locker room, to be honest with you. It would have to be somebody who's just a terrible human being, like, let's say, the late Lawrence Phillips. He was only there for a couple weeks, but he was just a terrible person, period. So it had nothing to do with losing. He was just a loser. I'm trying to remember a guy that was really, I would love to tell you that there was a guy that was really, really bad after a loss, and he was like an ogre.
You know, we do have a sound of a guy that got asked a question that he thought was a really dumb question.
Oh, yes. It was, and by the way, first of all, let's go to Leon Fresco, who gives us a little love on the Super Chat. Leon goes, Big O, I know you will be mad, but I don't see the point in playing Tua again until we get better receivers and a running game. Leon, you can't do it that way, my brother. Dan Marino never had a running game for 17 years. So what, we never played Dan Marino? You know what I mean? You got to let him play. You got to let him play. You got to let him learn. You got to let him make mistakes. But what you can't do is allow him to get abused. That's where you got to protect him as a coach. And he was getting abused last week when he already had 6 sacks and was taking a pounding. And it was just the inevitable that it was going to be a Joe Burrow next, that he was going to just end up suffering a serious injury. I want you to watch Joe Burrow. I don't know if you have time. I don't know if you don't have a life. But if you can and you want to just forego your life for a little bit, go watch every Joe Burrow game from beginning to end, and I want you to watch the amount of hits that young man took until the last one that put him out for the year. Okay? And he has receivers. He doesn't have bad receivers. He has some pretty good receivers. If you're a good quarterback, you're going to find ways to connect with your receivers, Leon, and you'll find ways to make them better. So that's up to Tua to adjust to that and make them better. Do you want all great receivers around the guy and a number one running back and all that? Of course, in a perfect world, you want that. But not everybody gets that. And that's why if you're Joe Montana, you go and you win the Super Bowl with Greg Cooper as your running back. Okay, Freddie Solomon was your wide receiver, and Dwight, a young Dwight Clark at that time. But you didn't really have Rice and Taylor and Rathman and all that other stuff. Tom Brady's first year that he won the Super Bowl, Jermaine Wiggins was his tight end, Corey Dillon was his running back, and Troy Brown was his number one wide receiver. Okay? A good quarterback will find a way to make people around him better. Tua can do that, but he is adjusting to game speed now. His decision-making has to be faster at this level. So he has to compute everything and decipher it all a lot faster. That's his problem. Guys are going to get open. He's got to get them the ball and make the right decisions. Fitzpatrick, with the same receiving core, changed the game last week up until the end when he threw the interception. But don't tell me he didn't move the offense, because he got you 3 and he almost got you the 7 that you needed to tie. So it can be done, Leon. It's just part of the process, my brother. That's all it is. It's part of the process, and we've got to give the young man some time to develop. So that would be my answer to your question. Not that I would get mad. I just disagree with you on that one. That's all. Anthony starts a question with something that I hate, but we'll have some fun with it, I guess, or try. Hypothetically, let's say Chan Gailey is replaced at the end of the season. Who do you want? For me, I'm between Steve Sarkisian, the guy who's coaching under Dabo Swinney at Clemson. He's had a lot of demons in the past, Sarkisian. I don't know right now. Anthony, see, the thing is, dude, here's where I don't want to play the hypothetical with you. I'm not all for getting rid of Chan Gailey. I like Chan Gailey. So I don't even want to entertain that, because I don't think he's going anywhere. Do you think B-Flow will bring McDaniels from New England in the latter future? No, I don't think so. I think that McDaniels will want to get his own head coaching job. I guess all of you hate Chan Gailey, I guess. I guess some of you out there are already going after him. I don't get it. Let's see. Big O, I thought I remember you saying Louis Oliver was an ass after a loss. I didn't cover Louis Oliver. No, it wasn't. I wasn't in the media. Louis, I think, was already. I got in the media in '91. Yeah, no, I think that was the end of Louis Oliver, actually. No, you're right. I think I might have covered the end of Louis Oliver. Let me see. What was Louis Oliver's last year? I got to look that up. It's pretty close. I think you're right, but I think he was kind of washed up by then. Is that what it is? Maybe that's why I don't remember him so much.
Louis Oliver. Late first-round pick, right?
Yep.
Traded by the Bears.
Born in my town, Belglade, Florida.
Yeah.
First-round pick, number 25 overall from Glades Central in Belglade, Florida. He played to 96. Yes, I got him at the end. You know what? Louis was cool. I don't remember Louis being a jerk after games. I remember Louis being cool. I don't think that's who it was, NorCal. I think you keep thinking Brock Marion. That's out of the secondary guys. That's the only guy that I remember was a total asshat.
You've said that
many times.
Several segments.
Many, many times I've told you that Brock Marion was a complete asshat. Just a jerk, dude.
And you said the thing that was annoying is he could see that you were cool with other players.
All of them.
You know what I mean?
All of them. He'd be standing there, and I'm rapping and laughing with what's it called, Sam Madison, with
Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain, All these guys that were there, everybody in the secondary I got along with. And then this guy was just a ball buster, man. Just a jerk. Total jerk. Out of the secondary, I got to tell you, NorCal, I don't remember a secondary guy being a bad guy except for Louis Oliver. Except for Brock Marion. I remember Louis being pretty cool. Sam Madison was money. Pat Surtain was money. You know, just those kind of guys. Terrell Buckley was money. Wow, Terrell Buckley was such a nice dude. Terrell Buckley was so cool because Terrell Buckley would explain plays to you. It was actually pretty cool with Terrell. So, no, that's the only guy that I remember being a complete jerk. Remember when everybody wanted O'Shea fired because the offense was too complicated? And now, after Gailey for being too simple, Goldilocks will be the new offensive coordinator. Let's see, what else do we have? Yes? What? Oh, you talking about Gruden?
We did do that and set it up kind of.
All right. By the way, Julius 305, thank you for giving us a little love on the super chat, my Gene Atkins, somebody brings up. Gene Atkins, I did not have bad experiences with him, but Jason Cole did. Gene Atkins tackled Jason Cole in the locker room. Okay? He blindsided him like a DB, because he was a DB, and knocked Jason out, dude. Like, not knocked him out, but knocked him to the floor. Okay? So, because Jason had written an article about how much money he's making. And back in those days, that was kind of like fresh. And because he was playing really bad, it pissed Gene Atkins off. And the media was in there asking questions. And Gene came in, saw Cole, and with a running start, blindsided him and tackled him right there in the locker room, bro.
So this was better than the Chrissy Everett.
Oh, yeah.
And Jim Rome, and that. I mean, it actually got physical.
Let me tell you something. He's lucky that was, at that time. In today's world.
Oh, you'd be arrested, assault.
Oh, no, not only that, Jason probably would have sued him. Where then it was kind of like they let it slide and this and that, but he probably would have gotten sued and he would have had to pay some money. Okay?
His lawyer would have been calling his lawyer.
Yep. NorCal says, I might be wrong, Big O. I have problems remembering stuff. LOL.
There's a contributing factor to that.
Joshua says, no one here is going after Galeo. I never said I wanted Gailey gone, nor did anyone on here unless I missed something. No, yeah, you have missed it. Gailey made Jay Fiedler look half decent. Gailey did a really good job here in the first go-around. That's why he's a good coach, man. Look, man, I'll tell you this. I like Chan Gailey as the offensive coordinator. I'm not that impressed with him as a head coach, but I still want him as my offensive coordinator. That I do want. John Gruden. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and obviously on Thursday, a lot of us had our regular meals with our families that we'd love to, probably a little smaller section of your family this year. But I hope that most of you had some, great meals and you enjoyed your family and you were doing it in a safe manner, which is the most important thing for us in this society. But John Gruden, it seems like John Gruden is outside of football. He doesn't really have much of a life. He's one of those kind of coaches. That's one of the things I loved about covering Pat Riley, because you could talk anything with Pat Riley. He'll know what's going on with the Heat, but he also know what's going on with the Dolphins, the Marlins, the Panthers, the Canes, FIU, FAU, life, politics, music, you name it. The guy was in tune. He's just a worldly person, right? Then you run into these coaches that have these blinders on, and all they think about and all they do is their teams.
Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah, Dabo Sweeney looks like that kind of guy too. So here's John Gruden, and here's a reporter asking him a very harmless question about Thanksgiving.
John, this is a little off topic, but with Thanksgiving coming around the corner tomorrow, is there a certain dish that you must see on the table tomorrow?
Man, you're killing me with some of your questions, man. I'm just hoping I got a place to go. Right now, we lose to Kansas City. I'm lucky to have a place to go.
So John Gruden, they ask him a question that there's no harm in it. So, Coach, what's the dish you've got to see on your table for Thanksgiving? Some people say turkey. Some people say stuffing. Some people will say rice. Some people say beans. Some people will say whatever you want to pick. And
sweet potato souffle.
There you go, or a pie or whatever. There's something that you look forward to in your Thanksgiving meals, right? So it's a harmless question. Now, this jerk answers the question in a way like his life is coming to an end. That if he loses to Kansas City, John Gruden will have nowhere to go. So how could he be thinking about a Thanksgiving meal? John Gruden is getting paid $100 million. Okay? He's got plenty of places to go. He ain't starving. He's not losing anything, not losing any sleep. I'll give you a story about John Gruden. I got a friend of mine that covers the Bucs for a long time. His name is Roy Cummings. And Roy has been a Bucs insider forever. So he's covering the John Gruden era. And one day his kids show up to the practice. Now, mind you, these coaches get to the facilities at 4 a.m., and they get home around 11 p.m. or midnight. They sleep for a couple of hours, and they're back at the facility. They have no lives. They barely see their families. And for some of them, that's normal. So John Gruden is asked, hey, those are your sons? And he goes, yeah, they're here hanging out for the day. One of them is having a birthday. So they go, oh, which one? He goes, the middle one. He didn't even know their names, bro. The middle one. I mean, it's just, that's this guy. That's John Gruden right there. Barely sees his family, barely knows his kids. That kind of stuff. So you ask him a harmless question. What's the dish you got to have on Thanksgiving? It's like, oh, if I lose to Kansas City, my life is over. Your life is over. Dude, you're making $100 million. It's guaranteed. What do you mean your life is over? Okay?
You know what though? Oh,
I get it. He doesn't know his family. He never hangs out with them. So maybe it is over. I don't know.
Yeah, but it isn't like he's it's like more of a self-absorbed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like everything else is beneath me. What I'm doing is way more important.
Right.
I don't have to, that self-absorbed like type. Not that he's dedicated or not that he's not, but it just this arrogance, this jerk type arrogance.
That's it. If I lose to Kansas City, I don't know where I'm going to go. Who's with me? Like he does in Hard Knocks.
There's plenty of businesses around Vegas that are looking for somebody to come in and pay for a meal. He could have gone someplace.
It's too funny, dude. John Gruden. What a jerk. Anthony says, Orlando, I heard from previous teammates of Richie Incognito that he was a jerk and a cancer in the locker room. I did not see that. I got to tell you. I did not see that. I think he's actually a good teammate. He's crazy. That's the thing, Anthony. Está loco. That's the thing about Richie Incognito. He's not a bad dude. He's just crazy. So when he goes off, it's not because he's malicious or he's bad. It's because he's crazy. When he grabs a bat and crushes the front of his Ferrari with it, that's not because he's a jerk. It's because he's crazy. When he throws a dumbbell at somebody in in a gym, not really because he's a jerk, it's because he's legitimately crazy. So I that's probably the way I would look at it. But most of those guys look like they got along great with Richie because Richie was kind of a jokester. Not kind of, is a jokester in the locker room. So I don't have a lot of stories about Richie being a bad dude in the locker room. Loco, yes. That I can tell you. But that doesn't make you a bad person because you're not mentally stable. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way I would look at it. Let me clarify. What I mean is previous teammates during interviews of Richie Incognito saying it was a cancer in the locker room and caused a lot of problems. I think he caused problems because he's crazy, not because he's a bad human being. You know, if you're not mentally stable, that's really your issue more than anything else. Okay?
Those people suck going out with, you know, because you'll go to a place, this and whatever, but they take it too far, and the next thing you know, the cops are involved and you're in jail because this guy, like, didn't know when to stop.
Yep. Rosenda goes, please pray for John Gruden. The poor man needs to revamp his priorities. He's just so ridiculous, that's all. I wonder if Gruden went to Tommy Rocker's for Thanksgiving dinner. No, that would be too good of a place for him to go. Tommy Rocker's, come on, man. Oh, didn't Incognito harass a woman at a golf course, apparently with a golf club? Yes. Again. Crazy. It's a guy that shouldn't be in football, shouldn't be allowed in football, but then again, the NFL doesn't care about that. They just don't take that serious. That's the twisted part about all of that. By the way, let me give you my NFL picks for the week. For those of you that listen on Onside Radio, we went 2-0 on Thursday. We told you to take the Texans -3 and the over 51. They scored 66 points, so we got that going. I like several games this week, okay? First of all, Seattle and the Eagles. Seattle's favored by 5.5. Over and under is 50. Seattle is -240 in the money line. Eagles are +190. I'm going to go Eagles. I'm sorry. I'm going to go over 50 points in this game. I think there'll be turnovers. Russell's been turning over the ball. Obviously, Carson Wentz turns over the ball like it's going out of style. So turnovers will help points. Going over 50 in this game, Seattle and the Eagles. Chiefs and Tampa Bay. I got two bets in this one. Chiefs are favored by 3.5. The over and under is 56. Chiefs are -175 in the money line. Tampa Bay's +145. I like Chiefs here, -3.5. I think they'll win by 7. But I also like the over 56 here. I think Brady and the boys are going to be motivated. And in order to play with the Chiefs, you're not going to stop that offense. There's no way you stop those guys unless Mahomes starts turning over the ball left and right. And I don't see that really happening. So I'm going to go over 56. I think they'll get to the 60 burger point, and I think you'll win that. Rams are favored by 6.5 against the Niners. The over and under is 45. Niners are +250 in the money line. Rams are -300. I'm going to go Rams -6.5 in this game. Niners are terrible. They've got a backup quarterback. Rams are playing pretty good on offense. I kind of like their balance right now. And they're coming off a really nice win where they look good offensively. The Niners don't have the defense that they had last year. They don't have the same pass rush. Goff will have more time than he normally would against these guys to pass and find guys. Plus, they got a lot of speed on the field, man. I like the Rams -6.5 in this one. Dolphins are favored by 7 against the Jets. The over and under is 44. Dolphins are -300 right now on the money line. The Jets are +250. I'm going to go over 44 in this game. I think there'll be turnovers in this game, and now that you add Fitz, you might add an extra turnover in this game. I know Sam Darnold's going to turn it over. I expect him to go over 44. I expect some points in this game. Bills favored by 5 against the Chargers. The over and under is 53. Chargers are +195 on the money line. Bills are -235. Dolphin fans, don't get mad. I'm betting with my wallet, not my heart. I'm going Bills -5. I don't want the Bills to win, but I know the Bills are going to win here. The Chargers just lose games. They don't win. Justin Herbert does not lead them to victories, and their defense is not the difference maker it's been the last couple of years. I expect the Bills and their home. The Chargers will have to deal with the elements, not the fans, but they will have to deal with the elements. I like Bills in their element with their quarterback, who's been playing pretty well. I like Bills -5 here. Go with that. Vikings and Panthers. Teddy Bridgewater returns. The over and under is 51 points in this game. The Vikings are favored by 3.5. Panthers +160 on the money line. Vikings -185. I am going Vikings here. I'm laying the 3.5. I think the Panthers have done a really good job under Teddy of keeping things interesting, but they still don't do enough to win. That half point has got me a little nervous, but I still think the Vikings will do enough to win by about 6 points, 7 points. So I think that 3.5, you'll be safe. I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the Vikings. Jags and Browns. The Browns are favored by 6. The over and under is 49.5. The Browns are -280 in the money line. The Jags are +230. Now, first of all, before I make a pick, can I just say I am rooting for Baker Mayfield to be a Hall of Fame quarterback? Okay? Do you know why I want Baker Mayfield to be a Hall of Fame quarterback? Because I want his commercials to live forever. I love his commercials. They're fun. He's taken over Peyton Manning's role as the NFL guy with the best commercials, right? Nobody's got better commercials in the NFL than Baker Mayfield, right? No active player comes close to Baker Mayfield. Having said all that, I'm going to take the over 49.5 in this Browns-Jags game. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. The Browns are favored by 6, but the Jags have a way of making games interesting at times, no matter who the damn quarterback is. But they do have a young guy there, my boy, and I think he'll throw an interception or two because he's young and green. I like the over 49.5 here. I think the Jags will come up with about 15, 20 points, but I think the Browns are going to score a lot more. So go over 49.5 in this one. Those are my picks in the NFL slate today. I'm sorry, you know what? I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add one more to this mix.
Yeah, you ain't got enough. Do another one.
I'm going to add one more. I didn't put it on my onside, but it'll still go because it's on record right now before, so it don't matter. I'll just tell the people that only listen on onside, you should have been listening to the podcast too. I'm going to go Arizona Cardinals -2.5 at the Patriots. The over and under is 49. Cards are -130 in the money line. Patriots are +110. I don't believe in the Patriots. I haven't from day one. I've told you guys that they were going to struggle to be 500, and it looks like I'm going to be right about that. The Cards are a pretty damn good team. Kyler Murray is he is a mismatch as there is in the NFL. Okay, the kid is phenomenal. When he becomes a great quarterback, it is going to be scary. But this guy is a real quarterback that's an athlete. He's not Lamar Jackson, who's an athlete trying to play quarterback. Okay? This kid's a real quarterback and brings some incredible wheels to the table. And I think his magic on keeping plays alive and his speed, where he is untouched on a consistent basis, is something you cannot defend almost. The Patriots, they've got a decent secondary, but the Cards have a monster wide receiving core, and I can see them winning by a field goal in New England. So I'm going to lay the 2.5, and I'm going to go with the Cards. Okay? So Cards -2.5 against the Patriots. The over 49.5 with the Jags and the Browns. I want the Vikings -3.5 against the Panthers. I'm going Bills -5 against the Chargers. I'm going Dolphins Jets over 44. I'm going Rams -6.5. I'm going Chiefs -3.5. And I'm going over 56 in that Chiefs Tampa game. And the Seattle Eagles game, I'm going over 50. Those are my selections in the NFL this weekend. Okay? I'll give you some picks later on the tomorrow or the next day. Well, not tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, no, Monday. For the Monday games, I'll do it on Onside, and hopefully I can do it here also after the Onside zone. That would be nice if we can get back on track on Monday here with the podcast.
You have any idea where you're at right now?
What am I doing?
Well, you did an hour and 13 in the first hour.
What am I doing now?
You're at a solid hour exactly in the second hour.
That's not bad.
No commercials.
It's not bad.
How's your voice feel?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
It's all right. I can't complain right now.
You want to do anything with the other ones we have?
Give me one more here. Let me give a couple music notes here.
Thank you.
That
Missed
I got.
Missed that.
Yeah, I got a couple things that are actually pretty cool. Neil Peart, the great drummer for Rush, the original drum set used by Peart during his early years with Rush is now available for purchase via online auction by Bottoms in Los Angeles. Offered as part of music memorabilia event that runs through November 23rd to December 9th, Peart used the Slingerland drum kit with Rush between 74 and 77. The package features a pair of bass drums with chrome wrap, including the original head, blue with the large silver Rush logos on it, and Neil on one and Peart on the other. Originals and additional replicas include a 14-inch tom-tom with chrome wrap and with original head signed by Peart. According to Bottoms, the drummer purchased the set in late July, early August of 74 from Long and McQuaid in Toronto and used it for 3 years before placing it in storage in 77. The package later became one of the 3 drum kits donated by Peart for Modern Drum Magazine's Neil Peart's drum set giveaway introduced in their March 87 issue. The set was awarded to a New York drummer, Mark Feldman, in the October 87 issue and comes with a letter signed by Peart informing Feldman that he was a contest winner and commenting on the submission. It was eventually sold by Feldman to the present owner. So you now can bid on this. It's a cool looking drum set, by the way. Pretty simple. Not the kind that you used to see.
Not the one we're used to the professor having.
Right, having 4,000 of them.
Nico McBrain.
But tell me that's not a sweet looking drum set. Look at that. That looks nice, right?
You know what?
That's a sweet drum set.
You know what's awesome about it, though? It's dated. You know what I mean?
It's very
it shows
70s.
like early Rush.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So if you want to get it. Oh God, I did this again. I hate when I do this thing. I do this thing sometimes that I end up actually screwing up the picture. Oh, I got it away. Oh, nice. There we go. Anyway, so you can actually vote, bid on that drum set. Now, the other note that I saw that was pretty good, that was pretty cool, Paul McCartney uses a teleprompter on stage for Beatles songs. Now, the teleprompter, you would think it's for the reason of what? Well, he probably is forgetting the words now, and he just wants a reminder, and if he has to look at the teleprompter, he'll look at the teleprompter, and he can remember the words just in case. It's not that. Listen to this. McCartney revealed he kept the teleprompter running on stage because he sometimes found himself on autopilot while doing the Beatles classics. While some veteran artists rely on the technology to deal with memory issues, he said his problem with playing tracks written over 50 years ago was his mind was wandering while he sang. He goes, in a recent interview with Smart Less, McCartney cited the example of the 1966 song, Sometimes I'll Be Doing a Song Like Eleanor Rigby. And on something, I'm on autopilot, and I'm starting to think on what am I going to have for dinner? Maybe you won't have the soup. Maybe you'll just go to the main course. Then I stop because I'm singing Eleanor Rigby. I've separated myself not only from Paul and fame, but a couple of bits in my heads are going in different places. Sometimes that breaks down, and I forgot the song. So I have the teleprompter. In 2014, Bruce Dickinson criticized artists who employ that technology, saying, I've never realized that people were using auto cues. What the F is that all about? People pay good money and you can't even remember the sodding words? I love the English speak. Anyways, in early this April, Alice Cooper said he wanted to ask Bob Dylan about the suggestion that he didn't use a teleprompter, noting that Dylan's catalog extended to over 400 songs, and he chose what to perform on the hoof. If he's not, it's one of the most amazing memories of all time, Cooper said, adding that he'd be lost without his own. Ozzy Osbourne admitted that 3 years ago, having the lyrics running on monitors didn't always prevent things going wrong. All these bands take it too serious, he said. Performing, we're up there having a laugh. You got to have fun. I've got a teleprompter, and I still sing the wrong words sometimes. But that's Ozzy. So, there you go. I know Glenn Campbell towards the end was using a teleprompter because, but remember, he had Alzheimer's and all that. He had dementia, and so it was slowly, he was still performing in the early stages of it, but he had some memory issues. So a lot of people would think it's memory issues, right? But for Paul McCartney, it's like he's singing Hey Jude, and he's like, did I leave the garage door open? You know? Like, you know, it's like, so it's kind of weird. It's what you and I do when we're doing stuff around the house or we're at work, and it's things that we do every single day. Our mind starts wandering because we can multitask. You know, it's kind of what your mind is doing. You're multitasking by doing whatever you're doing, whatever your job is, but then at the same time you're thinking about, hey, should I get a bottle of wine today for dinner? Should I, maybe I should take my car to get car washed. Whatever, something like that. Your mind is wandering. So Paul McCartney's mind wanders while he's singing Beatles songs.
You were reading my mind, bro, because I was going to mention the Glenn Campbell, because that was just recently on public television, 2 and 17, WLRN, and, bro, he's sitting there and just exactly what you said, and it's like he literally said, pause the refrain. And then everybody, they started laughing, exactly like you said, like, lighten up, man, you know?
Right. Yeah, but you could tell that,
You're reading my mind, bro.
Ozzy Osbourne's so burnt out that, he would get the words wrong, even with the teleprompter. The Iron Bowl today is at 3:30, okay? Auburn and Alabama. I don't know how many of you are going to watch it, but I got to tell you, number 22 Auburn and number 1 Alabama are playing. Auburn is 5-2, Alabama 7-0. Again, Auburn is 22, Alabama's 1. Auburn's 5-2. Dude, Alabama is favored by 24.5 points against the number 22 team in the country. The over and under 63. Here's the best stat of them all. Auburn is plus 1,035 in the money line. Alabama.
Say that one more time.
Auburn is plus 1,035 in the money line.
Wow.
Alabama is minus 2,100 in the money line. You gotta play $2,100 to win $100. You know what it is to bet $2,100 to win $100? I mean, you got to be an idiot to do something like that. You're betting $10,000, $10,500 to win $500. And look, I know Alabama's going to win, but wow, that's one hell of a line there. Holy crap.
Not giving much of a chance to those Auburn Tigers today, huh?
No. By the way, and I'm not really going to get political with you guys, okay? I'm just going to have some fun with it because this is what we do in this country. I'm 54. Okay, so I remember making fun of Gerald Ford when he would fall all the time.
Chevy Chase would almost every Saturday Night Live episode.
Jimmy Carter and his peanuts, and Ronald Reagan and his memory in this second go-around. Bush Jr., we made fun of many times because he, I feel people and fish can get along. All these stupid things that they would do. We made fun of Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I mean, we have Democrats, Republicans, we make fun of them all, okay? And I know now when the orange man leaves the White House, these stories are going to come out, and we're going to even the hardcore Republicans are going to freak out on some of the stuff that's going to come out of that White House, okay, of all the buffoonery that guy did. But he was caught on the golf course 2 days ago, and I guess he wasn't happy. Trumpy wasn't happy on the golf course. Go ahead. Let me hear Trumpy.
Shit. Just fucking
Forgot to tell him it's a little explicit here.
It doesn't matter. He grabs him by the pee. So he loves explicit.
So grabbing by the pee fixes the explicit.
Yeah. So we actually kept our mics on with Trump, right? And he had more to say.
Shit. Just fucking 2020 election.
You see? I mean, he didn't enjoy the election either.
Shit. Just fucking 2020 election.
Oh, look at that. He hated the golf. He hated the election. What else did he hate?
Shit. Fuck the American people.
Oh, that too. Wow. They voted against you.
Well, we can tell the way he treated us with COVID.
It's awesome. Just watch him get frustrated on the golf course. Meanwhile, there's all this other stuff's going on. The dude's golfing.
Shit. Just fucking 2020 election.
Oh, I love it. And it's guaranteed, right? In this country, we'll make fun of Jimmy Carter. We'll make fun of Gerald Ford. We'll make fun of Reagan. We'll make fun of Bush. We'll make fun of Clinton, right? It's Trump's turn now. The stuff that's going to come out now after he gets out of office, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
So this is just the start of this?
Oh, this is just a start.
It's just a start.
It's just a start. Just a start. The stuff that's going to come out and the stuff that he's going to face, they're going to be ugly. Breaking news, Lions fire head coach Matt Patricia. Really, they did finally? They finally fired Matt Patricia, huh? That is awesome. Great job by the Lions. Great job in firing a really good coach in Jim Caldwell and then hiring a bum like Matt Patricia. That's fantastic. Let's see, what else do we have here? So they've got Jonathan Taylor on COVID-19 reserve, the Colts running back. James Conner, the Pittsburgh running back, on COVID-19. And Dolphins downgrade Tua to doubtful for the game tomorrow.
Talking about firing people.
Teron Armstead, by the way, the tackle for the Saints, test positive for COVID-19.
Would it be nice if this is the Sunday that we roll into Monday and find out Gase got fired, like we were the one that put the nail in the coffin, the final nail?
Well, that would be good because last year the Dolphins started the end of the Patriots dynasty. So
we get to start another ending?
You end
for one of our rivals?
Yeah, you end another one by firing bum-ass Gase. That would be absolutely awesome if they're able to do that.
You know what's the only reason why I think they don't do that? Because they want to go 0-16 and keeping him in place, kind of the insurance policy.
Yeah, they get Trevor
for the
Lawrence.
right? Because the new coach comes in there, right? He's going to get the locker room all riled up and try to, earn the job and all that. You know what I mean? And it is the NFL.
Right.
If you're in the NFL, you got talent. And they sneak a win or two, and then the front office is going, damn, we were in a perfect position, and now we're trying to run away from Trevor. What are we doing?
I know.
Right?
I'm with you.
So keep Gase in place.
Nothing wrong with that. Keep him in place, at least for this week, so we can kick his ass. By the way, folks, you can get a 2020 ILX here at the Season of Performance event for $189. The TLX 2020, $249 here at the number one volume sales dealership when it comes to Acuras in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the 2021 RDX, $339. I mean, listen, folks, come on out here. Take advantage of all these great deals. The MDX, by the way, $319, the 2020 Season of Performance Sales Event, 1.9% APR financing on several models down here. That's why I want you to get on down here to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. You can get 0.9% financing on the MDX, the 2020 model. And there's just some great deals. And if you want to get a great deal on a 2020, you can do it. The MDX right now, the 2020 model, you can get $10,000 off the 2020 MDX. So if you get on down here and you see one of the salespeople, make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. Larry Schlossberg, all the great people out here, man, at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. It's a beautiful thing. Rosendo says, my favorite is Nixon. Oh, dude, we killed Nixon, right? No, I am not a crook. Yes, definitely. I mean, that was like legendary. That's how it is, man. Every president pretty much that we have, we end up making like fun of.
You know, we did see the moment when he did get impeached, and of course we see him walk across the lawn, get up on the top of the stairs, do the big wave and the peace sign, right, before he walks in.
Yep.
Have you heard what Trump said he's going to do if the Electoral College doesn't elect him? I think they do the count like the 14, 15, 16 of December, but actually Congress gets it like January 6th, basically 2 weeks before the inauguration, the 20th. And supposedly he said that if it is confirmed, and that'll be January 6th, that he has lost it, the Electoral College says it, he says he's leaving the White House.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get to see.
He's finally said something.
He's not going to. We're not going to get to see the bye-bye wave.
It doesn't matter. He's made enough of an ass of himself,
right?
With a bunch of claims that have no proof, because that in his world he can make claims without any proof, and then he's been shot down every single time because he's got no proof.
You know how much of a classless move.
He's just a clown.
But you know what that be? You know, like, you know what? I'm pissed off. I don't like the way the game's go. I don't like this. Here, Pence. Finish out the last 2 weeks. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Bye.
Anthony's asking me about Diego Maradona, and I got to tell you something. When he passed away the other night on, I think it was Wednesday, correct? Yes, it was Wednesday when the news broke. And I got home that night. I went to go see.
You were on the air that day, bro.
Yeah, I was on.
You were the one that broke it.
Yeah, it was right at the. Well, I didn't break it, but I mean, it was at towards the end of our show when it broke.
Right.
And so when I got home that night, I sat for an hour because I lived the Diego Maradona stuff, and I was actually doing a lot of Spanish radio early on, and there was a lot of talk and that stuff, and everybody knew who Maradona was, obviously. But I went back on Wednesday night, and for an hour, I went on YouTube to go look at all kinds of Maradona highlights, and just to remind me of his greatness. And that guy was special because that guy made goals from every angle on the pitch. Okay? And all kinds of ways. Yeah, he had that wicked left foot, but he also had touch that he tripped out goalies left and right, that he left them standing still because he knew how to boot right over them. And he made it from all angles and all distances. I mean, the guy was as phenomenal as it gets. Some amazing passes. His balance was sick. And I guess because he was kind of short and he had strong legs, his balance was amazing, how he could weave through 2, 3, 4 guys, get the ball through, get tripped up a couple times, maintain his balance, fighting through all the trips, and somehow or another make a great pass or score a goal. And I know, there's something about Maradona that is the same thing as Mickey Mantle, the same thing as Babe Ruth, the same thing as Jimi Hendrix and Keith Richards, and I could just go on and on and on and talk about Lawrence Taylor and talk about certain people that were great in their own right, but they kind of needed demons along the way to kind of, I don't know if it assisted them, I don't know if it kept them on some kind of an edge or something like that.
It becomes part of their aura.
I don't know what it was, but, everybody talks about that if Mickey Mantle didn't drink so much, he would have been that much better. You know, people say, well, if Jimi Hendrix didn't do all those drugs, he would still be alive and jamming. And if Diego Maradona didn't do all those drugs like Lawrence Taylor, that it was kind of part of who they were, and that was their challenge. And I don't know how much of that is true or not, because I'm not them. I've never been that kind of person, so I don't know. But it is interesting how over time, whether it's Aaron Sorkin, who is one of the great writers of all time, and he's putting together The West Wing, which is one of the great TV shows of all time, and the dude's a heroin addict. And it is funky, weird, odd, whatever adjective you want to use, incredible, amazing, that you have all these demons and yet you find time to accommodate the demons, then overcome the demons, to then go out and perform at the highest level of whatever it is. You're Prince, and you're on all those drugs, and you got to maintain, or you're Michael Jackson, or you're Mickey Mantle, or you're Maradona. Right? Isn't it weird? It's odd. Because it doesn't have to be just cocaine. It could be painkillers, and it could be alcohol, and it could be whatever. And we've seen all those different types of people that had all these demons, and yet they found a way to excel in their craft at the highest level. And that's one of the things that when I was reflecting on Wednesday and seeing how great of a talent he was, I also weighed in the fact that this is a guy that all the way to his final days had demons. When he was in the hospital, they had trouble controlling him because he had alcohol withdrawals. Because he was an alcoholic to his last day. Probably a drug addict too, to his last day. But again, it is amazing that even with his lifestyle, he made it to 60. It's amazing that Keith Richards is still alive at this point. Right? It is a weird dynamic how it's happened to so many people in all walks of life, in all types of professions. Right? John Skipper, who is now the lead guy at DAZN, he was kicked out of ESPN because he had a cocaine habit. And this is the guy that's making all the big decisions for ESPN. And he had a substance issue. It's just, it's really like, it's odd, man. It's an odd thing that stuff like that goes on. But Maradona, great player, you know? But all kinds of demons, obviously, like a lot of people. Okay, because that's the other thing. I love how, like, you know, one guy has here, let's see, where is it? Diego Maradona was a cokehead. Okay, David Iglesias, that's fine. But lots of people have demons, and they were great at what they did. Lawrence Taylor was a cokehead and alcoholic and all that stuff, and he was they changed defenses offenses because of him. That guy changed the way the game was played. You know, that guy was like an ultimate game changer, and yet he had all those demons. You know, so I get there's lots of people like that in all walks of life. And some of us run into those kind of people every day almost. Because you might have somebody in your life that you know has all kinds of demons, yet somehow or another...
Functioning addicts.
Yes, functioning addicts. And they stay... And to function at that level is just incredibly impressive. Sick, demented, twisted, not right. It's wrong, but it's still incredible.
Let me ask you, obviously, because I wasn't into soccer as much as I am now and whatnot, and have seen the highlights and stuff, but not specifically when he played. Would you say that it was like Pele and then Maradona? Like that was the level of excellence, like that was the baton?
Oh, yeah,
Kind of like
yeah,
Dr. J to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Pele, Maradona, and Messi now are like, and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, okay.
These are like these will be the arguments of who's the
Just
greatest of all
trying
time.
to correlate, like, my favorite Sports Illustrated cover is that Dr. J passing and Jordan below taking the ball.
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Miami Kid J says, we can also argue that Dan Marino had a little bit of a coke problem too. Miami Kid J, don't be ridiculous, bro. Come on, bro. Don't be ridiculous. There's a difference between doing some coke that maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But he wasn't a coke head. Okay? He wasn't Darryl Strawberry. All right, dude? Come on. We're talking extremes now. You're now getting ridiculous. Okay? You know, it's insulting to put Marino with those kind of guys. Marino is not that dude. Okay? There's plenty of people that recreationally did some alcohol, did some drugs, whatever, but they weren't addicts, and they were Marino wasn't a guy that was brought down by any kind of drugs or alcohol ever in his life. That maybe he did it, maybe he did. People are young, they do all kinds of things. But that wasn't something to put Marino in this same conversation, Miami Kid J. It's irresponsible and it's freaking ridiculous. Okay? Tons of people have their party nights, bro. Doesn't make them addicts, and it certainly does not make them, Mickey Mantle.
You're comparing a recreational
it's ridiculous.
person to a
ridiculous
lifestyle.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's Oh, well, you brought it up, bro. Don't say that's not what I meant. You brought it up. You said we can also argue that Dan Marino had a little bit of a coke problem. He did not. A problem is an addict. He did not. Now, did he party? Maybe he did, bro. It's the 80s. I don't know. Yeah, plenty of people partied. Plenty of people are still partying every once in a while. Addicts are different. Whole different conversation.
What was the comedian back in the day?
Like Mike No-Go Zone says, it's amazing that Ozzy Osbourne is still alive. I don't even know how he can still somewhat talk.
What was the comedian back in the day? Like, there's a room of like 500 people, and like, we do drink this, we do a little coke, blah. There's like 5 people that claps, and he goes, oh, yeah, out of the 500, there's only me and these 5 guys that are supporting $1 billion a year business.
Yep.
Just the 5 of us.
Yep. Big O, Maradona is the greatest of all time, no question. Herbert, way better than Tua. Jim Caldwell is laughing his ass off. And I don't know I think Jim Caldwell stayed retired, or I think he might be, maybe he might be like a consultant for somebody, but not for us anymore. Orlando, for you, is the most underrated player in Miami Heat history that people don't talk a lot about. I'm a young guy, so I don't know any of the older players. Most underrated Miami Heat player of all time. Wow. Most underrated Miami Heat player of all time. So it has to be a person that's made an impact, but does not get the appreciation from the fans, like Zoe, like Timmy, like UD, like
national?
Wade. No, he said Miami Heat, bro. Miami Heat.
I'm saying from a national media or just the Heat fans. You understand my point?
No, your point doesn't make any sense. It's
no, because
it's the
the
most.
Heat.
No, dude. The question is the most underrated Heat player of all time. That's it. Doesn't matter the national perspective or local. It doesn't matter. The facts are who is the most underrated, underappreciated player in Miami Heat history. Anthony Carter. Because if his agent doesn't forget to send in that paper, we don't get Shaq and we don't get the title. I'm joking. We do appreciate Anthony Carter's agent for that. Man, who would be maybe Sherman Douglas. Because Rice is appreciated. Wade's appreciated. UD's appreciated. Zoe's appreciated.
You know who never gets mentioned?
Timmy's appreciated. But I thought Sherman Douglas in those early years was kind of like a glue guy for all those guys. I don't think the little general gets the love he deserves for that early Heat team, that made the playoffs in that fourth year with Kevin Lockery. Maybe I'll go there as underappreciated because even as a point guard, he doesn't get as much love in Heat history, and I loved watching the little general play. Trying to think of somebody who goes underappreciated because if you go for the championship teams, most of those people are appreciated and mentioned constantly. UD and Wade and Shaq and Zoe and the big three and, you know.
You know who we love, though, that never, ever gets mentioned much? Grant Long, bro.
Grant Long, too?
He doesn't get mentioned enough, and we absolutely love that guy. He was our UD for that time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Some people have got Jamal Mashburn. No. Once he passed up the shot to Witherspoon, his life was over here. Rosendo says PJ Brown. Dude, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. Like, at the moment, people appreciated PJ Brown. Years later, nobody talks about PJ Brown except flipping Charlie Ward over into the stands. That's like PJ Brown's highlight moment. That's pretty good, man. I like the PJ Brown one.
You know what was the guard
Glenn
tandem?
Rice gets love, bro. G-Money gets love.
You know what was a guard tandem we loved when they came in?
Baby Jordan.
Bimbo Coles and Kevin Edwards together on the court.
Yep. Eric Murdoch.
How about a Cycles, bro? Because Cycle improved like the first 5 his stats got better and better.
No, Cycle
he was a forward playing center.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cycle is a good dude. Yeah, Cycle, that's a good one. But I'm gonna go Sherman Douglas. The PJ Brown one is fantastic. I love that one. I'm gonna slightly lean to Sherman because it was so long ago. You have to be an old Heat fan like me to really know and appreciate it. And he's forgotten. He's completely forgotten. And yet
the only place he's remembered is Syracuse.
Yeah, and yet his memories are in my mind forever on a lot of his games and a lot of what he meant to this team in running the offense. And he had that little floater in the lane. That was a sweet little floater. But, yeah, there's a couple guys there you could probably put at. Some guy put Cycli there, too. Ike Austin. Problem with Ike Austin was he came for 1 year and then got his big contract with Orlando and left. So there wasn't enough time to really, I think Ike Austin has to be appreciative of Miami that helped him lose 90 pounds and go get a $9 million contract. Because I remember the contract. I swear to you, I'm pretty sure I'm right. He signed a 3-year, $9 million deal with Orlando. And in those days, that was pretty good money. But he should be more appreciative of Riley and Weight Watchers. Really. Eddie Jones is a pretty good one, too. Anthony says, it's funny for me. I'm a young guy, so my underrated player in the history is Mike Miller. Okay. I can see that. My problem with Mike is that he had so many injuries. That I know he had that one game where he had the 7 threes and all that stuff, and he was phenomenal. Rosendo says, General Sherman is not forgotten. Thunder Dan, that's a pretty good one, bro. Thunder Dan's a pretty good one because he blew out his back, lost the weight, became more of a three-point shooter and a perimeter defender, and he really helped out the Heat with perimeter defense and also clutch shooting. Dan Marley one, I can't argue with Dan Marley. I can't argue with Ronnie Cycli. I can't argue with Grant Long. I can't argue with P.J. Brown. I like my pick, Sherman Douglas. I think those are all pretty good candidates of guys that over the years don't get enough love. And look, you can understand from younger Heat fans, some of those that are older players, they weren't around for them, so they didn't watch them on an every night basis. Those of us that are old enough to have watched from the expansion year to now, we've watched everything. So we watch Jim Rosinski and Craig Neal and all those other cats take the court, you know? Whole different ball game for us older guys. All right, we got to wrap it up here on the show. It is time to go. We thank all of you out there, as always, for tuning in.
You know, looking at the inaugural Heat tickets, you remember the inaugural season
Sure.
on it? I looked at it, I counted it up. As not even a season ticket holder, bro, 25 home games out of 42.
That's pretty good.
Like,
41. But yeah.
41, you're right. Talk about, dude, we were so happy. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah,
when
no, of course.
Like,
Yeah.
and we had Billy Cunningham, and look at what Billy did with the Sixers. We're going to be in a championship in 5 years.
I remember going to the Sixers-Nets game at the Knight Center before we got, because they were testing us as an NBA city. For those of you that are young and you don't know how it happened, the NBA gave us an NBA game. They gave us Dr. J and the Nets and Chocolate Thunder, who used to play with Dr. J, Daryl Dawkins, was playing with the Nets. And so it was the Sixers and the Nets at the Miami Knight Center. And so they wanted to see if we would pack the Knight Center, which is kind of bogus because the Knight Center is like this size. You know what I mean? That was because we didn't really have a big arena in those days. The biggest arena would have to be that we would have to go to the Miami Beach Convention Center.
You had Hollywood Sportatorium, and you know what? The big was James L. What was it?
I think that if I
Inner
remember,
Key Auditorium,
Right.
and dude, Miami Highlight. Remember
Right,
concerts
Miami Highlight.
were at Miami Highlight.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't going to put a court there, so
Right,
it's probably
dude, exactly.
It's probably somewhere like that. So they had to do it in the Knight Center, right? And they brought an NBA court and laid it out, and we went there. Those of us that were lucky enough, because I don't know if there's more than 3,000-4,000 people fit in the Knight Center. Maybe for a concert. I mean, for a game. I think for a concert it's like 2,500 or 3,000. But they reconfigured it. Whatever. We went for the game. I was a huge Dr. J fan, so I had to go to that game.
You were a 76ers fan.
Yeah,
bro.
right. I was a 76ers fan because we didn't have the Heat. I was a Dr. J 76ers fan, and so I was happy and I was also going to see Chocolate Thunder again, which was cool because the last time I was up in Philadelphia once to see the Sixers at Spectrum, and at that time Daryl Dawkins was playing with them, but it was cool to see all that, and then that was like our test. And when they saw that we would support that, they awarded us the Heat after, and then we got the Heat.
Same principle as with Joe Robbie, because I went to both games.
Yep.
When we played the Yankees in Baltimore, back-to-back nights to test to see if we could get the Marlins, which, of course, it was successful, and we did.
Yep. White chocolate, Jason Williams, don't get the due. He's one of the forgotten ones that don't get mentioned. That's a pretty good one. I still remember him yelling in the locker room when they won the championship in 06, and he's yelling, "You see, I told everybody I'm not a cancer." And they won.
Would you throw Keith in there, or does Keith get the rack because of the bow tie?
I don't mind that. I know I like Keith Haskins. He was a good defender. He became a good three-point shooter.
Great coach.
And obviously, but if people want to throw him as the undeserved one, that he doesn't get enough, I got no problem with that. All right, we got to wrap it up here. We got to thank my man Larry Schlossberg, as always, for accommodating us. We'll get back onto the Friday schedule next week, and hopefully everything will get back to normal again with our show.
Do you know what you just did?
I don't know. What did I do?
You did an hour and 13 to start. You just hit an hour and 29 minutes, my brother.
All right. Well, there you go.
Back to back, over an hour, 15 hour, 28, man. You're a maniac, bro.
We try. Once in a while, we try. We thank all of you out there, as always, for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with us, as always. We will get this thing back on track to get on every day. I promise you that. Let's thank our super chatters, Clee Torres, Leon Fresco, and Julius 305. Thank you.
We want information. Who are you?
I'm a go-getter.
Who are you?
Dumbass material all the way. Dumbass.
Super chat. appreciate you, as always, for keeping us locked in. Don't forget to catch us on Onside Radio every day from 11 to 1. Tomorrow we will be on doing the Dolphins postgame show. So tune in to OnsideRadio.com. Download the app, MyTuner Radio. Search Onside. Save it as your favorite. And you're set to go. Tune in tomorrow. No pregame. No halftime. Just postgame. For now, it's just postgame. Eventually, we will add the pregame.
We'll be hanging out at a stadium.
Yes.
Not Joe Robbie or Hard Rock.
Bill will be with us tomorrow over at the stadium.
Jeez.
So we'll have some fun out there doing the postgame show. Love you all out there. Thank you for supporting us.
We miss you guys. We're glad you're here. We're glad we're back.
And thanks to Larry Schlossberg, Pat Naslo, Tony Stampone, all the great people out here.
We also miss the girls. We miss the girls.
Definitely.
We miss them all.
Definitely. We'll see you tomorrow. For the postgame show on Onside Radio. Y'all be good.
Please stay safe.